Okay, so we're in the live show. Ben, how's it going? You like that? It's a messy background, so you're welcome to come on in and we can talk. You got a webcam and hey, Jamie, what's up? Can't hear you. Got your you should be able to talk if you've got a camera and webcam. Hey, there you go, Ben. How's it going?
There I am. Pretty
Let's see.
good.
Hang on, I gotta get my headset on. Hello.
Hello.
There we go. All right, so we're just a little bit before, but that's okay. Welcome, everybody. How's it going?
Pretty good. Just trying to determine someone right as I was joining, they started talking about something exciting at work, but I don't know if it's public info yet, so I don't know if I can tell you guys.
Oh.
So I'm like Google searching to see if it's public info, but coming up empty. So better keep it to myself.
Well, that's good. We don't want to tell the secrets. I don't know any secrets. I just got a shirt today though. Hey.
Oh, is that a Line 6 shirt?
Yeah.
There it is. Yeah, your bottom banner there kind of covers up the logo.
Well, I'm sort of not really on purpose, but it's okay because I'm not official. So you work at Line 6?
No, I work at Disney.
So you got secret Disney info or?
Yeah, well, that's the thing. It's unconfirmed. I can't confirm whether it's a secret or not.
Okay.
So I just need to keep it to myself.
I understand. What do you do at Disney?
I work in Disney Interactive on video game type of stuff. I'm on like a central technology team. So my team builds the software that the rest of the teams use to make their games for like iPhones and Androids and stuff like that.
Okay. Awesome. Yeah, I'm not that talented.
I don't know. Seems like you kind of live in the tech world too, right?
Yeah, I've been repairing computers and web design and social marketing. Well, computers for 25 years. So a little bit techie. Well, Jamie, do you got audio? You're working on it. Your audio just came on and went away. And Jamie. Oh, hang on. Let me check Facebook. Sebastian. Okay, Sebastian's going to come in. So, how long have you had the Helix?
I've had the Helix for probably less than a month now. So not too long. I used it initially on bass, and definitely had a lot of really good success with bass. But I'm still trying to get things figured out with the guitar. I really was kind of waiting for the editor to come out because I feel a lot more comfortable doing my editing on the screen rather than on the unit itself. So
yeah, I like doing that myself because overcoming the bend over And I really would like to, use my pedals for a pedal and then edit on the computer. And I'm glad they've got that sorted out. In fact, um, I for the last 2 weeks before the editor came out, I actually wasn't even making any patches because I'd put it on the floor. I'd clean my office and I got ready for the editor and I had it on the floor. So making patches is with the editor is my preferred way as well. So what is your maybe biggest trouble you've had with it?
Biggest trouble to me with the Helix is twofold, two primary parts of things I think were a big trouble with the Helix to me. The first thing that was a trouble with the Helix to me was the fact that the tones are sort of more immediately fizzy than the HD 500, and I've been using every iteration of Line 6 technology that has ever existed. So about 20 years now, I've been using Line 6 modelers pretty much exclusively, and the fizz was something that sort of started in the XT era of modeling technology and continued through the X3 because the X3 was also XT technology.
Right.
And the HD series was the first new technology since the XT originally came out. And they seem to conquer some of that fizziness problem, but it seems to be back in the Helix. So even though the fizziness problem was kind of conquered in the HD series, I think that the enormous amount of high end is sort of a natural side effect of recording direct, not necessarily because it's inaccurate or wrong in some way, but just because when you remove the physics of a microphone from the equation, you suddenly remove the barrier that a lot of people have to capturing that much high end. It's really hard to capture a lot of high end when you're talking about recording something in a physical space in a room with a real microphone, because microphone positioning has such an immense effect on the high end that you can kind of conquer that easily just by moving the microphone an inch to the left or an inch to the right.
Right.
Whereas in the Helix, everything is kind of sounds like it's more direct on. And being that it's direct, there's no natural place to lose that fizzy top end, even though it was gone in the HD series. So with the HD, I spent a lot of time creating patches where I have to constantly be focused on not getting too much top end on it. And the Helix seems to make that a little bit harder to remove that. And a lot of that is because I spend a lot of time tweaking at what I would call a bedroom volume. So I'm just sitting in a room of my house tweaking there, trying not to disturb the rest of the neighborhood. But I'm creating tones that I'm intending to play live where they're going to be cranked up through a PA. And the biggest problem you have when you create tones at a bedroom volume and crank them up live is they turn into something that is super fizzy when you crank them up, because the high end responds to the excess volume much more. So you really have to almost tweak things to sound more dull at home than they are intended to sound live, because they'll sound a lot more bright when you crank them up.
Right. Have you tried some of the tricks?
Well, I definitely have tried a lot of tricks, and I keep tricks in mind always, and I'm always trying to keep that in mind while I'm tweaking. I don't know if I know all of the tricks, but I do know a lot of them, and I've tried them. But it's one of those things where the tricks do exist, and I think the tricks help, but the fact that you have to be thinking about tricks while you're doing it kind of creates an immediate damper on the creative workflow until you get to the point where the tricks are so well rehearsed and so practiced that they become second nature.
Well, one thing I noticed, one of the biggest things is, hang on, can't get mic to work, but you'll listen. What seems to be the issue, Jamie? Go ahead and text us what problems you're having. Maybe we can guide you. Anyway, one of the one of the things that I noticed is being able to have the right outputs. I've actually set all my outputs at line level, especially going into an amp or even into a PA. It just brings back that punch just a little bit, where you could actually send things into like a fizzy area, or where it sounds like the speakers may be breaking up because you're sending too much to the mixing board, even though it's line level and the mixer may be line level. I find that I still like to send it. In at instrument level. And the biggest thing I found is when I went into a tube amp and I was set for a line, it was awful. It was really harsh, ice picky. And the minute I switched it, it was like went away.
Yeah, that's definitely great advice, great stuff to keep in mind. Those are definitely things that I do keep in mind and pay constant attention to. Like I say, I've been using Line 6 modelers for guitar and bass, for guitar exclusively for about 20 years. Bass, it's been off and on because the HD, really the HD era, I didn't think had enough to really please the gigging bassist, and it did eventually concede in introducing a couple of bass amps, but they really were kind of lackluster sounding. That's one area that the Helix definitely has stepped up the game for Line 6. I've always felt that in previous iterations of Line 6 tech, bass tones were sort of utilitarian at best. But in the Helix, they're now at the point where I'm like replacing my portable tube gear and stuff like that I use for sweetening my tone, because the Helix just sounds so much better. So when it comes to bass stuff, I am completely loving what it's doing for me.
Well, that's fantastic. One thing I've noticed is, I mean, I've tried a lot of the modelers. I've tried. Well, you name it. It's probably been a modeler sitting on my floor. And I've always liked. I even like the HD. I've liked the other modelers that Line 6 has come out with. But always searching. You know, you get the gas, the guitar the gear brain lock, acquisition syndrome, and what I found is I've got this handmade guitar from a friend of mine. He made this beauty a while back, and his name's Brock. Since I've gotten this, and then I have a custom Strat up here on the wall. See if I can get to it. Right there, handmade Strat. Since I've gotten those and the Helix, and now my Firehawk 1500, I don't need anything. I don't need anything more.
Train's going by over here.
Yeah, so you live near a train as well?
Yeah, well, I'm at the office right now.
Oh.
But yeah, I agree. I mean, the Helix is great. Definitely the editor coming out is helping a lot. The editor still really needs to get out of beta. I mean, Line 6 knows some of the key issues that need to be fixed in the editor. It needs to be able to copy-paste the copy-paste blocks, which they've said is coming, so that's terrific. It needs to be able to have more keyboard shortcuts, which they've said is coming, so that's terrific. And
then being able to name the preset, name the scribble strips.
Yes. Yeah, naming the scribble strips would be a great thing to have in the editor. It's not as far as tweaking tones goes, it's not a deal breaker for me, where being able to copy paste blocks in the editor will significantly increase my workflow just for tweaking tones. But they know what to do with the editor, so that's good. One thing I haven't necessarily heard them talk about yet that I hope that they will do is the typical ability to double-click a file on a computer. I mean, that's a traditional thing for any piece of software, to be able to double-click a file and have it open up in the editor. And right now, it doesn't do that. You know, you double-click on a Word document, it's going to open in Word. You double-click on a project file for your audio software, it's going to open in your audio software. You know, you double-click a text file, it's going to open in a text editor. You double-click a Helix file, and it doesn't open at all. So that's another thing that they got to get integrated with. I think will improve people's workflow.
And I noticed that when you install it, it does say, hey, it associates a program with those HLX files. So I believe that's something that they will work on, where you just double-click on them and it opens up. But I think they're running into where to put it when it opens up. From what I can understand, is that when you drag and drop it even into a blank spot, it still asks you if you want to replace that. And so if you were to try and just open the file right now, it may not know where to go, so you may end up replacing a patch you have already got because it's not knowing where to go. I guess it would go to the next blank spot, but I think they're working on that.
It's true, and I hope they are working on it, but they seem to forget their own history and forget the actual capabilities of the unit. So the Helix does have all of its whatever hundreds of patch file locations, 128 per set list and 8 different set lists, or however many it is, but there is one additional buffer above all of that, and that's the temporary edit buffer. And that means at any time when you actually start editing a tone, whenever you see that E show up on the screen that shows that a tone is edited, that means that patch is now currently stored in that temporary live buffer. It's not actually, it's not like it's modified in that location. It's modified in an additional buffer, which is only in memory. So you can freely modify things at will in the temporary buffer without them existing in the saved memory locations. And that's how every Line 6 pedal before has handled double-clicking things to open them in the editors. It would open the patch file into the temporary buffer, and it wouldn't overwrite a patch that's saved in any location. It would just load those settings into that temporary buffer. So for whatever reason, maybe the Helix application currently doesn't support doing that, but the Helix itself does support doing that.
Right. Well, I ran into a little situation. I created a I did a video in the Facebook group the other day. I have one of my patches that I made that mimics the Boss feedbacker booster. When I have the editor plugged in to my PC, and in order to create that effect of the feedback coming in when you use the pedal, it actually changes probably 6 or 7 different parameters from different things. And so if I go back, Ian is here, hey, come on in anytime, talk. But I move it back and forth about 3 or 4 times, and boom, the Helix disconnects from the computer. And all I have to do to put it back is unplug the USB and plug it back in, and away it goes. It works fine until I use the pedal again. So it kind of makes it a pain editing that patch. Now that said, I've made simpler patches and it doesn't do that. So maybe there's just like a a buffer issue that's going on when you're using so many and it's changing so much at once. Maybe it needs to be raised in some way. I don't know. I'm not that deep into software. I just know that there's an issue, and I went ahead and sent my patch to Eric, and hopefully he'll be able to use it as a tool to, because it's a repeatable in any fixing a computer or debugging software or fixing a car. Troubleshooting 101 is it repeatable, and this can give them a repeatable set of circumstances that cause it. Now, it could be related to something on my computer that maybe they can't repeat it. At least it's still something that I can repeat, and I was able to repeat it, and other things not. So I'm hoping that it's at least helpful that they got it.
Hey guys.
Hello. How's it going?
I'm fine. I'm a bit late.
No. You're not late. No. It just started 8 minutes ago. We were on a little early, chatting away.
Oh, okay. I got my camera working on my laptop finally.
Good.
Your image is very clear.
Yeah. I don't know. I've got this special thing making me blurry. I'm trying not to show my messy nature, but I think everybody knows my messy nature, so it doesn't really matter. I'm gonna turn that off. There we go. Okay, messy room.
Oh, that's better, yeah.
Yeah. So Sebastian, welcome.
Yes, thanks.
Ian, can you talk? Say hi.
I can. I just didn't want it to switch over to my video, so.
Oh, well, what's wrong with that?
Well, you know, there are no ladies online, so.
Yeah, what is up with that? Hey, can we get a feedback? Are women not interested in guitar effects modelers? I know there's a lot of women guitar players. We have none. Is there any women in our group?
At the risk of sounding sexist, they're all about the tubes, man.
Sorry, I gotta stop my brain. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, there are a bunch of women in some of the other Facebook forums, but I haven't seen many women in the Helix group.
I think we need to get line 6 to get somebody like Joanne Shaw Taylor.
Anybody?
Well, any women, any women guitar player would be nice. Melissa Etheridge or something. I don't know.
Huh.
Or that gal. Oh man, where's her name? Played for Michael Jackson.
That's
Orient.
Yeah.
Oh, bad.
I can think of better ones.
Well, just any of them would be nice. Yeah, add a little womanly touch to the forum or something. But oh well. As it is, it's a great. I'd like to applaud everybody who is in the forum. For everybody's helpful, kind nature. It's important to me, and I'm glad that everybody is, being nice and supportive to other people. It actually makes it a really special place. I actually think that I don't think I've seen any other internet forum be as kind and friendly and helpful.
You got that right.
Yeah, they all tend to devolve into some sort of argument somewhere.
I kind of won't put up with it, and I've had to. One time I had to kind of pull somebody out because he didn't want to be kind. But I haven't really had to do that too many. I do have to be really careful who I accept into the group because there's a lot of people who are just trying to join these forums to spam, put their nude pictures or whatever, and so what I do is if I get a request to come in, I look to see through their profile really quick if they have guitars or guitar-related stuff. But if it's a pre-17-year-old looking person in the picture with that the account was made a month ago, I don't let them in.
Yeah.
No, I joined the group before I even had my Helix, so I could get some information from you guys.
Yeah. So how long have you had, Sebastian? How long have you had your Helix?
Not long ago, like maybe almost 2 months now. 1 month and a half, let's say 1 month and a half, I think.
And how long before that did you join?
A couple of weeks, maybe. I don't remember. I know I joined before, so I could get some information, and I knew I wanted it, but I wasn't sure I was gonna have it so quick. So my wife pushed me to buy it.
Oh, nice.
Very nice.
That's nice. When I first started playing guitar about 5-6 years ago, I'm not saying my wife was jealous per se, but every time I go to pick it up, it was kind of one of those, hey, you're ignoring me. But over the years, now she sees what music and what guitar sort of does for me, and so she kind of puts up with it, and she knows. She said I could get the Helix, and I said woohoo. So so it's nice to have supportive wives. I've been married 14 years as of February 1st. So
Congratulations.
yeah, this is number 3. So I guess I figured out how to do it right, I suppose.
You never know.
That's true.
I've been now 23 years with my wife now.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah, but married for 11 years now. 13 years married now. Yeah. I was young.
Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, I was young too. Not anymore. But whatever.
I was especially skinnier. Yeah.
Oh, hey, look. Not official.
Yeah. How did you get that? I wanted to ask it. They don't have any official merch. I looked at the website. There's nothing.
I had a friend who said it would be nice to send me one, so I got one.
Oh.
Yeah. So.
Cool. But they don't sell any. If they would sell some T-shirt, I would buy one. But they don't sell some. They have nothing.
I know. I actually feel kind of privileged.
It's sad.
So, how has the Helix changed your musical life, other than staying up hours on end and using the Facebook group?
Me myself, I started playing more guitar since I have it. Well, other than that, I don't play professionally. I'm just an amateur. I don't have any. I don't play with any group, so I play by myself just to have fun. It's a toy for me, basically, but an expensive one.
But you know what? I don't call it a toy. Here's what I say: if you get enjoyment out of it, and it brings you music. It brings you peace. It brings you all sorts of things. Music could be different things to different people. I know that when I sit and play, even when I'm not play so good, just being able to hear certain tones, it really calms me.
Inspires you.
It hits right here. So it isn't a toy. It's kind of a tool that even if you're not using it professionally, but you're using it to either make you or your friends happier or bring something more into your life, well then that's a nice tool, not a toy. So.
Well, I like gadgets, so that's why I
Oh,
got
me
it.
too. Don't look around my room.
No.
Well, actually, hang on.
Let's see.
Hang on. Whoa. Hang on. Yeah, I don't like any gadgets.
Well, before you had the Helix, what did you have? Did you have the Pod HD?
I've had the HD 500. I've had the HD 500X. I've had the Boss, whatever, 100, the ME80, and everything sold to get the Helix. And in my ear, some of these firmwares have really improved the Helix, as if it wasn't good enough already. In my book, the last firmware did something to the tone. Is that anybody else's? What do you have to say about that?
Yeah. No, and
I don't know if I noticed a difference in the tone.
You didn't?
I don't know. I have so many different patches.
Well, here's what I know. Here's what I noticed. I noticed, and I posted in the Facebook, and I don't know if anybody was taking me serious because I was kind of joking a little bit about it, but I noticed more mojo. That's the word that I can put to it. Could I put it on a scope and say this is a little different? Well, maybe, but I noticed almost a more connected feel to it. So for me, it was not just totally about the tone difference. It was kind of a feel thing. I noticed some feel differences, and I found out that there was definitely some optimizations that were done. They always try and optimize these firmwares. Whenever they do a new firmware, they just do little tweaks here and there, and it could be something is adding a little more headroom or a little more something into the engine, the engine that creates all this, that could have added that just milliseconds or microseconds of something, because that's what I noticed. I don't know. I mean, I could be just totally off in placebo, but I don't think so.
I think it sounds like you're starting to try and start a Tonewood argument.
No, because I would be on the side of maybe. How's that? How's that for taking a stand? Maybe.
My opinion is I have no opinion.
Yeah, that's right. That's why I said maybe. I don't know. Because I've had some pretty cruddy guitars, and they can sound pretty amazing. So I don't know.
Yeah, I try not to get involved in that silly nonsense.
But you're the one who brought it up.
Oh no, I just I think we need a little controversy to get more people going.
I like that. I'm now if it looks like I'm looking away, I'm just looking at my other monitor to check other avenues to get more people here. Let's see.
Yeah, I tried to post something in the Facebook post that you have up there.
There we go. I like that. Okay, and so I'm going to put so come all. Okay. Kind of keep it front and center in front of the group. So Ian, you've got quite a collection of stuff. You're not married. You're not married, are you?
I am to a wonderful woman. I'm actually.
Nice.
Anybody want to buy it? I'm getting rid of this one.
Let me see that headstock, Jan. What's that guitar?
PRS.
Yeah, that's nice looking. I like that.
Yeah, I'm just not. I find myself. I'm not a big Floyd Rose fan. This is a 30th anniversary anniversary with a Floyd Rose trem.
Okay.
And
It's beautiful.
it's really nice. I love the color. I just, there's something about it. I just can't get anything I like out of it. I just can't get any sound I like out of it.
Oh.
I had a guitar once, and it was a poly-coated guitar. It was beautiful. It was it was a Samick. Yeah, it was a Samick, which a lot of musical instruments are made in the Samick factory. And this was a Greg Bennett Samick. It was extremely well made. And I put new strings on it. I couldn't do anything to get that thing. It felt dead. It felt there was some. So back to the tone wood sort of thing. The woods were good, but there was so much coating. It did. I mean, I'm not getting on the tone wood thing, but it definitely felt there was something weird about it, and I got rid of it.
Yeah, this one just sounds dead. I don't know why. I've had it set up. I've played around with it. I mean, I don't want to sound like a snob, but well, I guess I'm not. I mean, I have a core model, the P24, which I love, and I also have an SC245, a single cut, which I also love. Great sound. I mean, great tone. This thing just sounds dead. And to be honest with you, the $149 hard luck sounds better. So, yeah, I don't know. Just something about this particular guitar.
I'm going to rejoin.
Okay.
So yeah, I don't know. I mean, this Hard Luck Kings Telly knockoff.
Yes.
Is absolutely. I'm really loving the sound on that thing. So probably a really good $100 investment.
Okay, so we're getting some questions. We're getting some questions out on the actual YouTube page. This is streaming too, and so I'm gonna address those right now. Okay, so what is the URL to join the forum? So let me go ahead and copy that in there to answer his question. Okay, so I'm gonna send you. Let's see. Your name is Luke. Luke, I'm going to send you that link right now in the page. Hold on. Hold on. Fingers. It's not working. Hold on. Paste. There it is. Reply. Oops. It's a little slow because I'm broadcasting, so you got two links there. Oh well. Okay, so next question. Hey guys, could you comment on what kind of speakers you're using with the Helix? What do you think about the L2T versus the Atomic Clear versus the QSC K12? So let me start by giving you my opinion. Chad, will I post this to YouTube later? Luke, yes, Luke, it'll be posted on YouTube later. So if you can't watch, you can watch it later. Okay, so back to the question. I have had the L3T personally myself, and I just didn't like it as much as and hey, we got Ian's. He's got an L2T. He likes his, but I didn't like it as much as I liked other things. I probably liked it better than some of the other ones, but the QSC K12, I tested the QSC K12, and I loved how it sounded. It sounded great. But what I opted to get is the Line 6. Where is it? The Line 6. Oh, what a mess. I opted to get the Line 6 Firehawk 1500, and here's why. Hold on. Uh, First off, it's stereo, and for what I do for my enjoyment is, I really like a stereo effect. Now, that said, it's 1500 watts. It's loud. When I first got it, I decided to, and I don't know why I decided to, but I decided to turn it all the way up. So I held the strings. I'm like this. So I held the strings, and I just cracked the volume, and I turned all three. There's three volumes on there for different things. I turned all three, and I cracked it, and I just went like this. Didn't even make a sound. You can't even hear that. My son in the other room said he felt it in his chest. Now imagine what I felt right here, about 2 feet away. It was like a punch in the chest. I mean, I thought, well, man, I'm going to need CPR or something.
Here I am now.
It's crazy loud. So, but crystal clear. Even at that loud level, and I didn't play it, but I could tell there was a crystal clearness to it. So I turned it back down. It's as loud as you ever need it to be. Plus, with all of the ins and outs that it has, I can do wet, dry, wet with one amplifier. I can send my outs of the Helix to the main ins. Put a send block in the. In fact, here let me demonstrate what I can do with this. Hold on. I will screen share something real quick. Share. Can everybody? Let's see. Present to everybody.
Oh.
Yes.
Can everybody see that?
Yep.
Okay, so I have a wet, dry, wet patch, if I can find it. Maybe I can't find it. Oh, didn't I not put it in there? Hold on. Yes, let me put it in here. I love being able to just drag and drop right in there. Yes. Okay. Okay, this wet, dry, wet patch. So what I've got is, if you go into the guitar in, and you do your amps, and you got your IRs, and you come out, and then I've got a send block, and that send block, I say send one. I put that to the guitar in on the Firehawk, and then all the other sounds, they go into the mains of the Firehawk, and you just blend. You blend it. You blend the tones so that they tone up. But you can literally turn that wet sound off, and you just get nice dry, raw tones, and then you can bring your wetness right up, and then all of that tone can actually go back out of the Firehawk and go straight to the desk or to the board, to your computer or wherever. So you literally can monitor from your Firehawk and get all these tones. It's wet, dry, wet. It's stereo, and pass it right to the front of house. So it's loud. It can be its own standalone if you want, and you don't have to worry. You just turn all of the you turn all of the modeling off for when that happens, and then you're all good. You just go in there. But one of the other benefits is, now if I can find that patch, hold on, let me find that patch. Let's see, hold on. Don't look at my messy desktop. It's like my messy room. Oh, heavens. Oh, there it is, patch. It's in here. I created a patch. Hold on. Let's try that. There it is. Wet, dry, wet. Send one. Let's try this one. Okay. So what this one? No, that's not the right one. Hang on.
Darn it, Chad.
What? What I do now?
Nothing. I'm just giving you a hard time.
Oh. Hang on. One more. It was probably in one of these new presets. I probably didn't give it a name. Let's see. Demo, dual tone. Demo, maybe it's demo. Any rate, if this isn't it, well, no, it's not it, but that's okay. So I'm going to stop the presentation to everyone here. Okay, so what I was able to do is I was able to send out and go into the front and pull off some of the effects out of the Firehawk 1500, send it back in before the amplifier on the Helix, then process through that, and then come back out and go into the mains. And what that was allowing me to do is use some of the Firehawk effects that are not in the Helix yet, say like auto wah or the auto. I forget the name of it. It's another one where it kind of auto volume. I forget what the name of that is. So you can use those and use some of those effects right into the Helix, and it comes out and sounds amazing. So that was the question that I answered in a long-term way from MKT1001100001. Okay. All right. Everybody else talk. I'm tired. No, just kidding.
I have the LT2, but I also have the Hughes & Kettner, the Two-Meister 36, and I have a Fender Junior Blues with some upgrades. So, and I kind of switched the routing back and forth. Right now, everything is routed to the LT2. Actually, wait, let me take that back. It's routed to the Hughes & Kettner, and it's routed to my Mac through my interface, and then back out to the LT2, L2T, to the Line 6, to that thing.
Yeah.
I have it that way so that if I ever want to just start recording, I just hit a button in my DAW and start recording. So.
Luke, so he wonders where the URL is. If you go to Facebook, Luke, if you're hearing this, you just go and search in the groups or in the search, and search for Line 6 Helix User Group, and it'll bring you to the big group that we're all in. So, but there is a link inside of the comments, right where you're commenting, Luke. So just look through the comments, and it should be there. Okay. Back. Okay, let's see who we got. Who else we got on here? Sebastian.
Yeah.
Jamie and.
Yeah, I crashed earlier. Firefox doesn't like this program too much, I think.
Yeah, I would use Google Chrome.
That's why I just installed it. That's what I did now.
You got camera still, Sebastian?
Oh yeah, yeah, I'm still there.
Okay. Your camera's not there. You are.
But it's blurry. It sucks. The camera is integrated in the laptop, so it's not very good looking.
Yeah. Yeah. My integrated laptop one is horrible. What I use for mine is the Logitech C920. And it works pretty good. It's pretty clear.
I almost never use a webcam anyway. So.
Yeah,
The first time I used it on my laptop since I have it.
Okay, let me check something here. Okay, Joe. Hold on. I get it on YouTube. Can't find the side panel. Just a YouTube video. Okay.
It's the first link.
Well, yeah. Let me give him the first link. Let me copy that, and let me reply to him. Joe, come on in here. Paste. Right there. I'm going to give him a new link, so maybe he can come in. There's Joe. Hey, he's here. Joe. See, I paid not enough attention. Hello, Joe.
See if I can get this thing to work.
I can hear somebody. Who was that?
You're Joe?
Yep.
All right.
Joe. Welcome.
I think you have a picture of my dog in the snow over there.
Yeah. Exactly.
So the video feed's not working, but oh well.
Do you have a camera on there?
I do. It's an old computer, about 6 years old.
Oh, okay. Well, it should work. Let's see. Did you give the permissions?
Yeah, I said allow. Oh well.
And did you choose? See up there at the top?
Yeah.
There's a little gear settings.
Yeah.
You should be able to change cameras. Like I can change to a different camera right now.
Oh, I see. It says USB video device.
Yeah. So.
I can't change it though.
Oh, you can't. Okay. So that's probably it's probably an older camera. So you can see if I go into one camera, you can see my little mechanism that I use, and this is the camera that we were just using before.
Okay.
And I find they work really good. And along with that, what I use for the sound quality is I use these Brother speakerphone. They're pretty inexpensive. But welcome, Joe. How's it going?
Right.
Tell us your Helix woes or props or whatever. What's going on?
I'm a couple tube amps, massive pedal board. Tired of lugging it around, and I've always loved modeling. So I have my last one's actually an old Boss GT5, and I've got that working decently. And then I saw the Helix at Sweetwater last year, and it blew me away. So I got one in October. I ordered in October, got it 2 days later. If that's not a story.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I ordered from Guitar Center. They had one in Buffalo. It got it 2 days later. And I've used it live 3 or 4 times. That's all. And every time I've used it, I've gone a little bit more into modeling. The first time was into the front of my amp. The second time was into the loop of my amp, and the third time was into the PA and into HR, just cheap Alto 110A speakers, and then a PA. And every time it got better. So I'm there now, just downloading patches. And next step is to record. We're going to record another album with it. The first album, I think you heard a couple songs. I sent it to your other website.
Did you?
Slam Clickers Band, Night in the Park. I think you commented on one of those songs.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, I try and yeah. I started pursuing tone.com. I was trying to make it something good, but it's hard to compete against the gear page, right?
Well, go ahead. Sorry.
And there's a big catch-22 is to get people involved and on there and commenting. When there's not anybody on there commenting, it's kind of a catch-22. You can't attract people when there's nothing really going on, and I just couldn't keep the gas going on it myself. So that's why I really put my focus more into the Facebook group, and it's been tremendous.
Yeah, the Facebook's great. I don't like the gear page because it's one blog that covers every question. You know, you can't separate anything out. You can never find anything. So I don't even look at it.
Well, and I'll be honest with you. I mean, I go there every once in a while. But,
yeah, that's about it.
But the people here in the Facebook group are the friendliest lot I've ever met, and helpful. And I mean, there's some people that kind of seem a little, and I don't mean this in any bad way. They just seem, some of their answers seem a little curt, not necessarily rude, but curt. And I have a feeling it's maybe possibly a language. So, you know, in English we might say please and thank you and flower it up, and I think I'm the king of emojis. I probably put them in everything because I'm trying to make sure everybody knows, hey, if I sound like I'm rude, I'm not. It's a smiley face. See, I have a smiley face. So, but aside from a few of those that are maybe a little bit curt, there really nothing wrong with that either. And having a different opinion is perfectly okay. I welcome different opinions. I certainly don't corner the market on what is right or wrong. It's just different opinion, but that's okay. Different opinions are okay as long as you're not rude about your opinion. Have it. Oh, hang on.
There's actually a guy who posts every once in a while in the Line 6 thread on the gear page, who's like a big Axe Effects user, and he just pops in every once in a while to take a big dump in the thread. So. Why? Yeah, I don't know. I've basically stopped reading it because of it.
You know, okay, so here's what I've said, and you have the different modelers, and you know, the gold standard, and I'm using the air quotes because that's just opinion. The gold standard Axe Effects. I like the Axe Effects. I know like Larry Mitchell, and I've heard the Axe Effects live. It's phenomenal. It's a phenomenal piece of equipment. But even Cliff over at Fractal said about the way the differences between the two modeling is that they decided to take a more optimized approach to their patches, and so they do things like mess with the EQ to make it a very pleasing, and so everybody listens to those and goes, wow, that sounds really good. That hits right in there. That's great. Well, Line 6, and they basically, Cliff even said this, they take the more, this is what the amp does, this is what the amp sounds like, this, you play this, it's identical. Warts and all, as I think Eric has coined the phrase, all the warts, all the bad things about that amp. And just like, say if I bought a matchless amplifier, and they sent it to me from the factory, and I plugged it in and went, that sounds horrible. And I didn't go over and turn some of the dials. Wouldn't I be a fool? Well, that's kind of what the Line 6 Helix is. And if people have whatever is pleasing to them, well, the EQ, the graphic EQ that they've got in the editor, really makes it easy to understand what you're going for with the mid hump and stuff. And Henry, I'm gonna murder his last name. Let me check something here. Henry Switzer, that's right. He texted me the other day and said he was able, because his son has the Axe Effects too, and he says there's just something about the Axe Effects that he liked. wasn't quite able to get what he liked out of the Helix. Well, with the new graphic editor, he says, "Oh, I found it. I found what he was looking for, what he liked, his optimal tone." And basically it's that Joe Bonamassa, dumbly, creamy mid hump. If you look on a spectral analysis of the Dumble, I played some Dumble clips and I watched it on a spectral analysis. There's a hump that's very noticeable and it pulls in the EQ. And with this new graphical EQ back here, let me show you what I'm talking about here.
Yeah, I love it.
Let's see.
You know, the XFX is good if you know how to use it and how to program
Well,
it.
but yes, see, I hadn't even got to that, and that's a good thing you mentioned that. It's
More complicated.
Yeah, so you go to the global EQ, and you grab. See, oops, I keep on wanting to grab the wrong one. Hang on. So you grab here, and you get this mid hump. Hang on.
They should do this for all the EQs, actually.
Well, and so you can do this, and basically he says he gets, it's obviously it's the taste, but you get it in there and you get this kind of a mid hump like this, and he says somewhere around 560 up here, around 560, and he was able to get that pleasing to his ear, Axifexy like tone. So obviously it's different amps, different things, but he was able to dial in what made his Helix sound like his son's Axifex, and he's just over the moon. So shout out to Henry. Just wanted to make sure he's not able to come on today, but so it's really fantastic, and yeah, actually hold on, got to switch. Ian, I have to give you a shout out for going to instead of using Blab, using the Hangouts. It took me a little bit. I spent some time with my son, kind of dialing in how this would work, and I'm really pleased with how this broadcast is going. Let me see. Okay, we got somebody who joined. He might have come from YouTube. Let's see. And I'm going to check the page here. With a lot of the pipe's really full right now, so if I tell it to do something, it's like, hey, but you're broadcasting.
Yeah.
I've got 150 gig or meg. I have 150 meg internet here, and it's Comcast. So yeah, I think they throttle.
Yeah. Yeah.
You got Comcast where you're at?
Yeah, I have a Comcast business line in the house, so it's 100. It should be 150 gig.
Does the business version do they throttle it for streaming?
No, they don't.
Yeah, I get throttled all the time. I think you guys will. I think you'll. When you hear me say this, you might go, "I've lost my mind." I have 30 plus devices on Wi-Fi here.
Yeah. You're not crazy.
Well, I got Let me just go through it. I got my iPhone, I got my iPad, I have my MacBook, I have my Mac computer that we're using right now, I have this laptop over here, I have a laptop down there. Did I say I have my tablet?
Printers.
I have three printers. My wife has an iPhone. She has an iPad. She has a laptop. My son has three computers, a tablet, and my daughter has a tablet and a computer. And then we have 2 Roku boxes, 2 TV sets, three TV sets that are Wi-Fi enabled, and then I have 2 PlayStation 3s and a Nintendo game player. It's ridiculous. So I'm able to stream off of a lot of things, but so at night my TVs are streaming 2 things, and I get some horrible streaming problems, but it's just first world problems, I guess.
Yeah.
You
So
gotta get a good router.
yeah, that's the thing is. It's I'm glad I'm really glad actually the Helix is not on Wi-Fi.
Yeah, that could have been cool for some features. But...
Well, okay, so I don't work. Obviously, I don't work for Line 6, but if I was working for Line 6 and they came to me and said, "Hey, what would you add?" Okay.
A touch screen.
No, what I would add is a separate unit, and this separate unit would interconnect in some way to the Helix, either by USB or USB in outs. I would have 2 more pedals, so like the unit would include 2 pedals, so that you just would plug in and you'd have all three pedals you could use, and then I would put a really, really good looper.
Separate.
I would put a separate, really sophisticated looper that can take the blank space out when you really mess up, because timing is for me, whatever. I can sometimes get it, and when you get it, it's great. But like some of the other loopers out there, they have that ability where they can take that blank space out and make it kind of sync up, tempo sync it, or quantize it in some way. So I would have a really full-featured one, and then I would have an adapter on there that would allow a Bluetooth feature that you can add, and it goes into the USB, so that they can have an editor on the iPad, and a wireless unit so that the Variacs can go wireless. So I'd put those all in a separate unit, and I can almost guarantee you that $500 or $600 to add this unit, I'd pay for that.
Maybe. No?
I don't know. But that's just me. See, but that's me. I don't know. What do you guys think? What would you add? What would you guys add to the Helix if you were in the decision-making place?
What I wanted at first was Wi-Fi connection and a touch screen, but that's too late now. But I thought at first, when they first announced the Helix, that the screen would be like a touch screen, so you can edit the equalizer with your finger directly. But that will make the cost too much, maybe, I think.
Yeah, I think the upfront cost plus cost of repairs on something that's going to take a lot of beating into performance.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, a touchscreen that size, you're probably talking
Like 6 or 7 inches, I think.
No, $300-400 to repair it. But I mean, if you're taking this to a performance and it's getting beer spilled on it and people are dropping stuff on it, you're going to be doing a lot of repairs. So
yeah.
I guess, I mean, I'd like to see something that they could probably still add. Kind of going to your suggestion about a looper, I would love to see the ability to store loops and save them for other performances.
Right. Yeah, that's the kind of function that I don't know that they could add to this machine now, but I would invest in another device that almost maybe you could even you know how the Helix kind of goes like that. Maybe you could even shape it to where it comes in and sits right, locks in right next to it somehow, just
Well,
like whoop.
but if you have a connection to your computer like we do with the USB cable, I don't know that you even need it. I mean, you have a looper, so if you can restore loops,
Well,
then upload them to your computer and edit them for later, and then reload them into the Helix anytime you want. Almost like
yeah, but what we're talking about is the Helix's memory, the way it sits. I don't think can take more than the 30 to 60 seconds that it's giving you.
Right.
So that's where I say you bring a dedicated another machine that's called Helix Looptastic, or I don't care what you call it.
Even if it's just RAM, static RAM.
Well, yeah, it's as long as it could do what you're asking. But I love the Helix, but the looper. One of the issues I have with the looper is I create a loop, and then it sounds like when the playback is not as clear. Is that anybody else's experience?
No, it's true.
The playback, it seems muddier, and when I want to loop, I want it exactly the sound that I put out. I want it the same level, and I know that you can adjust levels, but there's 4 adjustments to the looper, and that's it. So like if I go, let me show you.
The sample quality is low, I think.
Yeah, exactly, and so it's a weak point. It doesn't change the selling factor. It changes none of that. It's just that I wish it were like the loop station, or like the Voice Live 3 had an awesome looper. So let me go here, and so if we go into a blank preset. And let's go look at the looper. Oh, I keep on doing that. Hang on.
I'm curious. Do you know if so when you're doing a sample loop, is it sampling the signal, or is it sampling the clean signal and then applying the effects to it continuously?
It depends on where you put it. Let me show you. So if I go in and go to the editor, and let's just say I go in here and add the looper here. And I say I want a mono. Let's just keep it mono. It doesn't matter. You've got 4. You've got your playback volume. You've got your overdub volume, your low cut, and your high cut. Those are the 4 settings. Now, so here's kind of a trick that I kind of like. If you want to sample different effects, you put the looper up front, right? And then you play into your loop, and then whatever you change after that will change tones. But if you put the looper at the end, it's going to record everything you hear, and then when you change to different patches or whatever, say you have it going down here and you've got different effects. When you engage those other effects, you're going to play whatever you played before, and then you can play the effects over the top. So it just depends on where you put the looper. And another looper trick, now that we're talking about the looper, is to make sure if you're going to have to change patches, that you put the looper in exactly the same spot.
Right.
So, but it's a simple looper. It does its job for practice. I can't say that I would really want to rely on it for its sonic capabilities in a live setting. That's just me. It's just an area where they can improve or add another function. It's okay because it does not change the value of it. And I've said in the forum and elsewhere against, back to the AxeFX people, I don't care. They can come in and try and bash it, because the Helix itself will withstand any scrutiny that you put it to. It's been tested. Yes, it's still a growing product. It's still a product that is advancing, and Line 6 is dedicated to completely supporting it. And I don't believe at this point that they have, Helix version 2 in the works. I think that they're really working on what they've got here. This was their, yeah, because let's just say they come out with a Helix in a year, a Helix 2. You're gonna really hack off a lot of dedicated people. For instance, what's an interesting point here? Hold on. Is this? Let me show you this. Hold on. Screen 2, screen 1. Okay. Okay. So something interesting right here is I ran this. There's a little thing I run on the group, and I must say, really nice to see how much is in here. But what was really nice to see is, and I don't know if I can get to it. Hold on. Hold on. Critics. Hold on. Is the amount of active users in this forum? It's actually pretty incredible, and I don't think I've seen this kind of activity about a product, and it kind of goes along the lines of the gear page and the amount of use that it gets.
What's that?
Hold on. Daily updates. Oh, groups dashboard. No, that's not it. Hold on. Let me check something really quick. Okay. Hold on. Okay, here we go. All right. Okay. This is our group right here. Really incredible. 26,000 comments. But active members in the last, like really active members, 1,278 active members out of the 1,400 members. That means that a good majority of this group is active in the forum. You know, liking, commenting, helping. Well, you see it, and you know what's funny is you know, hold on, let me stop sharing that. What I find funny and interesting is the fact that, you know, with all this activity and all these people in here, to get such a nice group of people. I mean, it's unheard of, and it's just it's great. But I wake up in the morning and I reach over my phone, and that's the first thing I pick up, and I check. But even I can't keep up with everything that I mean, if I get tagged in something, I will answer it. But I try and go through in the morning, and there's been 15 or 20 posts that I think I've seen everything, and I probably haven't. So
Yeah, it's definitely a good group. I'm an old veteran of the Canon versus Nikon, PC versus Mac wars. That's how I got my wound. And I'm actively involved in the marine aquarium hobby, since I'm part owner in a company. And
oh, nice.
yeah, the amount of garbage that you have to wade through is just ridiculous. It's I am on the scientific side of that group, and there's a lot of hack popular science misinformation that goes on, and you try and tell people, explain it to them, and you just get this barrage of hate, and it's at some point you just kind of throw up your hands. It happened to me yesterday. I was trying to help out in a conversation about marine parasites. all this popular nonsense was coming out, and I was trying to explain, no, this is the life cycle of the parasite, this is how it works, this is what happens, this is what works, this is what doesn't. And everybody was just jumping in with, no, you're wrong, no, it's worked for this guy in Cleveland on a Sunday who happened to have, and I just turned off notifications and left the thread. It was ridiculous. You just get, for one reason or another, they just want to bang their own drums, and I haven't seen that at all in this group, which is great.
Well, and I try and give people the, well, this is what I think it is. I tried answering somebody today. I didn't have the Helix in front of me. I almost wish I had a little Helix computer that I could take with me that I could go, hey, yeah, go right here and do this. But, when I'm out and about, I try and even pay attention out and about. I probably put, I don't know, 20, 25 hours a week at least. If I actually was maybe even honest, it may even be more. I don't know. But as long as I can help the ones here get great tone, and don't easily give up on it if there's something wrong, because if there's 70 people over here or even 99 people over here that say, man, that sounds really good, and then there's one person that comes along and goes, it sucks. I can't make it sound good at all. It's probably the way you're setting it up. It's either the way you're setting the Helix up, or it's what you're going through and setting that up. And I can't fix what you're listening to it through. But if you literally take and set everything to instrument, the XLR to mic, and pad, and set the impedance to auto, I'm not saying that that's the perfect sound for everybody. What I'm saying is, if you pull all that down to there, and then it's kind of like if I take an MP3 and I max the volume on the MP3 and I put it to the input of something, it's going to sound garbled. But if I back the MP3 down a little bit and let the amplifier of whatever I'm plugging into take it the other miles, it's going to sound way better. You're not pushing it so hard. And that's what I'm trying to get everybody to do, is pull it back. I don't run my Helix. I run my Helix master knob on about 12 to 1 o'clock.
I use it to maximum. I don't know why you have to put it down. Or...
Well, why I put it down is so that I can have room to go, and because I'd rather let what I'm using to amplify drive the speakers, not drive the input of something.
Okay.
It's called gain staging. So what I do is I pull all gains, and it's a really important thing to do is to stage all of the gains. And I'm not talking about gain on the amplifier, although that can be part of it. I'm just talking about the levels on everything that you have. I would rather send a lesser level and let the final amplification do all the driving of the tone, because you're going to get a cleaner tone instead of basically clipping the input of that. You're going to get a clipping tone, and I think that's where a lot of people have had problems. When I went into my tube amplifier and I had mine set to line and not input, it was the most horrible. And I was going to do a Fender DeVille. It sounds amazing. That the Fender DeVille I had at 410 is a USA Tweed. It sounds amazing, but when I took the Helix straight into it and I didn't know to set those levels or the globals correctly, I got a horrible, screechy kind of painful tone. Literally, the minute I turned it from line on the quarter-inch out to instrument, it just completely changed the tone.
Okay.
So again, I'd rather use the final audio source as the amplification.
So you leave it at 12 o'clock?
I leave it at 12 o'clock, and sometimes I can, like if I'm not loud enough at like at a gig or whatever, you can turn that knob up a little bit. So I kind of leave myself room for, say, if you're going to go to the front of the house, the sound guy. I definitely want room so that when I'm ready to, if I can't quite hear myself enough, I can just reach down and go, boop, turn it up, and see. That way I can actually send a little bit more of me out. So I give myself room. If you've got the accelerator fully on and it's not enough, where do you go?
Okay.
So that's kind of my thinking. And again, I'm not saying my thinking's correct. I'm saying, for me, that's what I do. What do you think, Ian?
Well, I mean, since most of my stuff is routed through my DAW, and according to Line 6, you should basically dime your volume if you're doing that. That's where I have it set. And then the output that goes to my Hughes and Kettner, I actually have the power soak turned on the back, so it's pulling down the power. So it's not, because I mean, if I turn this thing up, it gets loud. So
okay, yeah. So that works in your scenario. So what I found for what works for me, and I've got mine going. I've got mine going into the audio box there, audio box, and I set mine different. But see, it's a matter of my tinkering with what I'm doing, and to get the tones that I get, and then what you're doing. It's just situational. It's hard to teach that.
right,
You've
yeah.
got something that works for you. I've got something that works for me. And but here's why I say what I say, is because the way I'm suggesting is the kind of a fail-safe. You're having problems with your tone. Try this, because that's immediately going to fix some of the tone. But I get what you're saying. I totally, and I agree, and I completely agree with what you're saying.
But I think you're also running into the case of, and I think this was illustrated really well. Can't remember the guy's name. He basically said, "I've had my Helix for a couple of hours, can't get a good tone out of it. I'm returning it." You know, it's a tool, and if you don't learn to use the tool,
I'm gonna go to get a drink.
you don't.
Yeah, no problem.
So yeah, I mean, and like I said, I ran into that before with the camera stuff and with the computer stuff. You're using a tool. If you don't take the time to learn to use it properly, it's nobody's fault but your own.
Yes, that 100% agree. If you haven't kept your Helix and played with it for a month, you're being foolish. At least, if I think it's absolutely foolish.
My wife, ladies and gentlemen.
Hello.
Hello. You're in the garage, so I closed the door.
Okay. Yep. Try not to spend it all on booze and hookers.
Nice.
Sorry. Sorry.
Well, we've had 4 or 5 people on today. That's really good. I was trying to get more. I'm surprised we haven't got more.
Well, the rebroadcast is available almost immediately.
Cheers.
Right.
Salud.
And I have a little something myself.
Jägermeister.
Mine is. I'm not going to give a plug, but it's got Kentucky in the name and fire, cinnamon.
Oh, is it Fireball?
No.
Oh, I like Fireball though.
I think Ian just gave the right shout out. But so what do you guys think of the broadcast? What do you think of this? This is pretty cool, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Too bad we don't have more people in it.
Well,
The week people are busy, maybe. Yeah.
that could be. That's why I've kind of hung out and decide we're going to take it till whenever, 6 o'clock. But I'm trying to get people on. The links work. You guys got on pretty easy. It's not too difficult to get on, but I wanted to try something. I want to see if
this is one of the things I love about the Hangouts is it's just too easy to do this.
Hey, question. What is the guitar on your behind you on the left?
Oh, me?
Yeah, on your left.
Yeah,
the one behind. What's that?
That is let me get it real quick. That is some
looks like a Washburn, but
yeah, it looks like one. Hold on. I'm gonna pull this out of the way. Hold on. All right. It is a cheap. Hold on. It is a little cheapy, no-name Rogue. But actually, it's pretty well built. It's thin.
I like the color.
It's got a nice color.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful flame. It's a photo flame.
You removed some pickups or what?
No, it came that way. So this is my son's guitar.
Okay.
But it's got the fake Floyd Rose, and it's okay. But my main guitar is this beauty right here. Get it in the sun. Yeah, it's let's see, too much sun. There we go. This is not.
I would see. Yeah, very nice.
Yeah, this is not a photo flame. This is a real beautiful flame, and you see all the checking going on. See the checking, and this was a very thick 59 Les Paul neck, and this is made by a friend of mine named Brock. He handmade it.
Very nice.
It sounds pretty incredible. Let's see. I'm going to do something, and I hope it sounds okay.
Anybody else here beside me got the Variax guitar?
I had to sell my Variax to get the Helix.
No.
Yeah.
They go so well together, like peanut
I
butter
know,
and jelly.
and I'm waiting to get mine.
The 59s are nice.
It's funny.
I actually had one. I had a 59, and I loved it. It was just beautiful. So
I got
let's see.
the JTV 89, but without the Floyd Rose.
So let's see. I'm going to go off of my microphone, and I'm going to go into my audio box. So you won't be able to hear me for a second.
We've lost your
No,
voice.
no
Okay,
playing.
I got you.
Yeah. So, at any rate, did the sound? I'm
Yeah,
not
it was
playing
okay.
very well.
Sounded
Anyway, but did it sound in stereo or?
Didn't notice, but the sound was good.
Okay, sound was good. Okay.
A little bit muddy, a little bit for the bass, but the
Right.
rest was good.
Good. Well, I just wanted to test it. I hadn't got any feedback on what that going through that sounded like, but playing, always could use help. Yeah, it's getting bright. Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
So, any rate, love the Helix. Love. Oh, hold on. Commented, responded. I don't even know who's all listening. So how's it going, Joe? You're not talking much.
I'm just listening, hanging out.
Good. Okay.
I can't see you. You can't see me, so I'm half here.
Well, we can always fix that. We
I
can
have
put
to clean
it.
my basement first.
Well, hey, yeah.
I signed it. I've seen it already.
Oh yeah.
I made a comment about it once a while back.
Oh, did you? Okay. Yeah. Well, it's a
It's good.
it's a functional disaster. I know where everything is. Hey, we got Derek on. Yeah, hey Derek, welcome. I knew we'd get some more. Is
His camera works.
Derek, welcome.
Now Ian's got his. What kind of guitar is that?
This is the JTV. The 50.
Okay. Okay, it was getting blocked by all the other guys. All right.
Yeah,
That's the Variax, eh? That's
it's the
that's
Variax.
nice.
I almost never play it. I got it because all these great sounds. I just never really play it that much.
Well, if you're just gonna throw it away.
Well, let's have dust on mine. That's
I play left-handed, so I can't get one.
Oh, jeez.
So being left-handed, they don't make them.
Well, you could always Hendrix it.
That's true, but not safe. So I ended up messing with just my Dan Electro. I just bought a Dan Electro 59 for $350. Love it.
it's too bad they don't make any lefties for the Variax guitar, because one of my friends would buy one instantly.
Yeah, I'd buy one.
No lefties. I think like Six said that it would be they won't sell enough of them to make it worth the effort, but
yeah, well, CNC machine, they can just reverse the program and it'll just stamp it out pretty much.
Yeah, I've always wondered about that.
Because every guitar manufacturer, like especially Gibson, they have tons. Martin has tons of lefties, just about everything.
Well, Joe, you should like. Hey, Derek, come on in. You should like this, Joe. This is my other custom. It's got a baseball bat neck, bird's eye maple, and then beautiful dark. Can't talk about what kind of wood this is, but at any rate, reverse headstock.
That's the lefty, yeah, the lefty neck.
But it's just a reverse headstock, and this is all custom. custom wiring, custom um, wound pickups. And this is a signature from Gary Hoey.
Oh yeah, I saw him at Sweetwater last year.
Oh man, great guy, nice guy.
Yeah,
And then
he's doing 11 rack at the time, but I think he's line 6 now.
And then Ty Curtis.
Oh, okay.
You know Ty? Anybody know Ty Curtis from Texas? No. Actually, he's from Northwest. And then Uriah Duffy. Anybody know Uriah Duffy? Bassist?
No.
I don't.
Duffy from Guns N' Roses?
On
no, it's not Duff. That's
Snake.
Duffy something.
I think Whitesnake.
Okay, because Guns N' Roses is Duffy.
And then I didn't protect it. This is a worn off. I feel bad because I'll have to meet him again. Larry Mitchell. Does anybody know Larry Mitchell?
No, I don't.
Larry. Shout out to Larry Mitchell.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure you probably have heard him, but then if you haven't heard of Ty Curtis, really great blues guy. Water Under the Bridge. He's a phenomenal player and singer, and then anyway, yeah. So, but this guitar right here it sounds really good. It's amazing, and it's also, I don't know if the camera can pick it up, but it's checking as well. You can see the checking in it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, enough about that. So, Sebastian.
Yes, sir.
Did Derek leave?
No, he's here.
He says left group chat. I got that on my.
Yeah.
Right over there.
I wanted to get him on here, so Derek.
Maybe he was using Firefox like me, maybe, and
yeah.
I don't know.
Derek. In. Okay, so let me look at stuff over here. I was kind of hoping we could get some official Line 6ians in here, but they stay shy on something like this. I haven't got them in yet. I know they watched my live unboxing. How many were here for that crazy thing?
Which one?
I missed it.
It was early on. It was literally April 1st. April 1st, 6 months before. It was the anniversary of the live unboxing. For 2 hours, I had so many people on, and Line 6, they snapped a picture of them watching my crappy unboxing. So, listen, I've been playing for about 5 years, and if you listen to some of my YouTube videos, I'm okay. I've got a couple songs on there that backing tracks, and I play over, and I do okay. But it's kind of like I was watching an interview of somebody the other day, and he's really good, but he's like he doesn't have that Guitar Center just pick it up and try and impress somebody thing. He can play, but I don't know. And I'm the same way. If I get into like what I just played a minute ago, my brain just like locks up, and you get that. So, but it's okay. I'm not here to impress. I love the tones I get, and under certain circumstances, it sounds good. But it is what it is. It is what it is. So, okay, so we got Ben back. Hey, Ben. Or not Ben. Wait.
Jamie.
Jamie.
Sebastian.
Jamie.
Oh,
Jamie. Yeah,
Oh,
it's
that's
hard
you.
because sometimes I see the name and sometimes I don't.
Jamie. There he is.
Jamie. Jamie. Come on in, Jamie, and talk. Can you talk, Jamie? Oh well. My phone keeps ringing.
So far, I'm amazed of all the feature that the Helix got and the ease of use. I was surprised. I didn't know when I bought it. I didn't even know that the foot switch were capacitive. By accident, I touched one, and I thought this. Oh, okay. I haven't read the manual enough. But cool feature.
Yeah, it's a great feature. Although sometimes when I was editing up here, my hand would rest on it, so it was sometimes it got in the way. So Jamie, how has your live tone has that improved, Jamie? Respond to us in the text. I guess we don't have to wait. He'll respond in a minute. Okay. So, what's the absolute deal breaker for the Helix of anybody here as far as keeping it, or you're never going to get rid of it? What throws you over the top one way or the other?
I'm perfectly happy with it. I mean, I got it because it was my, I've progressed to the point where it was time to start thinking about, doing a pedal board and learning how to use different effects, and it was just, I started looking at things and how much they cost, and then all of a sudden Helix was announced, and I realized I don't have to go through that nonsense.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah, I totally understand, and the thing I don't understand is if you were to take in, I know people have tried, but they really kind of almost missed the point. If you were to take and stack up the cost of all 46, 47, 48 amps with every pedal that they've got modeled in here, and put them in a pile and try and buy it, what would it cost?
Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah, and then the ease of use. Another trick that I like to do is instead of adding a noise gate, I find sometimes noise gates they cut off the delicate nature of very finesse kind of playing, right? So they can cut off those little like I think it was Buddy Guy that said. He says, if you want to really get somebody in there, you just start playing really soft. You get them to come into you, like this, and then you can blow them away, right? Well, because that's a finesse or really delicate playing. It gets people to really listen intently, and then you can really blow them with what you're doing. Well, some of the noise gates chop that little finesse off, but the input block has a gate of itself, and I find it works really well. It doesn't use any DSP extra. You don't have to add a pedal, and it works. So are you guys familiar with that trick?
That's the one I used as a gate. I only use the input one. I never use a gate block.
I don't either. I'm with you, Joe. I don't see any sense to. I mean, yes. You know what? If I had a really hot guitar and I was on stage, and had loud blasting amps and playing a high gain, I might think about adding it. But anything else that I do, if it's got a little bit of noise, I just add that input gate and that's it.
Yep.
You lose sustain with the noise gate a little bit. Huh?
Not on the input gate. For some reason,
a little, but not much.
I mean, a little, yeah, obviously a little. But if you bring it down just enough, it's not too bad, honestly. It's better than the pedals, and the pedals may act as they're supposed to. I find the input gate is perfect for me for most of my situations.
Yeah, the input gate doesn't have a hard cutoff. It like fades. So
Right.
as you change your setting, it just brings the noise down less and less and less. So it fades slowly. It's like a slow clip. It doesn't just cut off.
Yeah, there's no
That's great.
there's no hammer. It just doesn't go
Right.
clamp.
Right.
Yeah, I agree, and so that's why it's my favorite little feature. What's the feature? And it's open to anybody. What is the feature that you found that you haven't really seen other people talking about? Is there any features that you guys have, like little tricks on the Helix?
I did find one. I mentioned it. I think on, I don't know if it's Facebook or the other one. If you go into the new Helix editor, and let's say you have an amp cab block, amp plus cab block, and you want to pull the amp out, like you want to remove the cab from that and not change your amp settings, you can do it. If you
So if you
select
get
it, go ahead.
combo,
If you have a combo amp and cab,
yes.
and you want to pull the cab out and leave your amp settings the same, it'll do it now.
Oh, let me test this. Hold on.
Yeah.
Let me
bring it
on the screen. Let me do a little test here, because that's an intriguing
I mentioned
one.
this to somebody, and he said, "Oh, great, fine," but it went from there. Okay, so find it. Yeah, go ahead.
Let's go. Okay, so
you can even do it the other way around. You can do it backwards too.
So let's try. Let's go and do a blank preset. Let's add an amp and cab block. Boom, boom, boom.
And extreme settings, go 10 or something. They can blast them all. Blast all those settings so you know you changed.
All right, okay.
All right. So now save it. I guess save it if you want, just to make.
Yeah, let's save it. Okay, saved.
So now select the block.
Yep.
Select amp plus cab, just the red box. Now go to amp. Down below that.
Yep.
Guitar.
Yep.
Pick the same amp and double click. Boom.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
If you do any other one, it won't work. But if you pick the same exact amp and double click it, it'll carry it over.
Love it. And then you can now add your cab.
Yep.
All right. Okay. Beautiful. Hey, that was a great tip. That's a great tip. Okay, excellent.
And you can go the other way too. If you want to combine the cab, you could do it backwards too.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, it works. On the Helix itself, it won't do it. I've tried it on the new software; it won't do it. It's still default, but on the editor, it will. So it's
okay.
Cool.
Excellent. Now that brings me to the topic of since we just talked about this, the topic of IRs. Everybody goes crazy about all these IRs, and I have the big pack from Redwires, and they are there's 36,000 IR. Okay. So let me drop some reality on you. Let me go back into the Helix here. I want to show you something, and I don't think a lot of people actually really understand this, but I present to everyone, and I'm gonna grab a amp, just a standard amp, and just a Supro, whatever, I don't care. And then I'm going to grab a cab. And now, something to consider is, I don't know a lot of people realize, the dual cabs are stereo cabs.
Yeah.
They go left and right, okay? But let's go single cab just to prove a point here. Supro. Okay. So what we have on screen is you have your ribbon, your distance, your low cut, high cut, early reflection. But basically your ribbon and distance. So right here, this is an IR. Boom. This is an IR.
Right.
Boom. This is an IR. Boom. This is an IR. Boom. This is an IR. Then this is an IR. This is an IR. So they have the same. It's done the same way. It's done. It's modeling. They're doing IRs. These are IRs. It just gives you a program to make it easy to choose the right cab. And so this is what people don't realize. So when I first got some IRs, I got a cab that was called the Kemper IR, and I was like, holy moly, that blown away. That sounds amazing, because I would add it to something that would typically have a 2x12 speaker. Well, what I realized soon after is that what I like is I like 412s. I like the tone. This is me. I like the tone of a 412, not the tone of a 212, so to speak. And so what I ended up doing is I ended up comparing the Kemper to the Kemper IR to a 412, and I was going to tell you the differences were so minor. I wasn't as blown away with the IRs as I was when I started. So yes, they're different. Yes, they add flavors, and yes, I'm glad they're in the Helix. But do not minimize changing a mic and changing the distance and changing the reflections to getting the tone you want. So that's one of my tips for the day. 2, and here's something that's really important, and I've shared it on the forum, and I probably beat it to death, but I want to point it out now. If on the speaker cab itself, if you raise it up for the low cut to 120, and the high cut you put down about 6, what you're doing there is you're mimicking actually the frequency response of a guitar speaker. A guitar speaker's response is between there and there. So when the Helix can do more, it's kind of like the guitar speaker actually only does this. So if you want a more authentic, what does this speaker sound like actually, is it you'll apply those. Now what's nice is some people have added a high and a low cut to the global EQ, or they've added EQ to cut that, or they've taken and added different things and they've cut those. That's not what we're talking about. We're specifically in the speaker part, and we do those cuts. And I've talked to a sound engineer, and he basically says if you lower and raise that on the speaker, well, fine. When you put the delay afterwards, like if I put a delay in here, sorry, hang on. If I put a delay in here, this delay stereo, let's just pick Adriatic delay, and we look at the level and headroom and all that. Let's see which one. Actually, let's pick. There's maybe it's the simple delay. No, hang on. Mod. Yeah, let's see the low and high cut here in the mod. So even though you've put the low cut and the high cut on the cab, that doesn't change the reflections that you'll hear through an FR. So these reflections could actually come out and resonate on a higher level in a full range speaker. So you're going to hear different things, but the main hit, the main speaker that hits, is going to be cutting it to where it sounds like a guitar speaker. So in essence, you'll have studio grade effects edited on top of an actual sounding guitar speaker. At any rate, that's one of my tips. So I hope that was that easily understood.
Yep.
Yeah,
I do the
that's a
same.
good tip. By the way, I shared a link on the internet that I found a lot of impulse cam.
Right.
Well, mainly for heavy metal, though. But I'm into that, so if anybody else is into that, there's a huge list of different bands and all the settings.
You know what's funny is I like some metal, and I listen to some, and some I don't like, but I listen to some. I've got a really eclectic taste in music. I go all the way from when I was younger, the Limelighters. I don't know if anybody have ever heard of those. The Lollipop Tree. but all the way to like Jimmy Dean, Tom T. Hall, to Metallica, to Alice in Chains. I mean, if it's music and it's pleasing, I'll listen to it. But I've played with some metal tones, and I'm not a metal player.
I like a lot of kind of music, but I have a preference for heavy metal. But I like anything, even ambient music, or I like the blues a lot. I'm not a very good soloist, but I like it.
I'm a huge like my wheelhouse of music is probably the blues. Gary Moore, B.B. King, the greats, Eric Clapton, but I pull a lot of my influences from Santana, David Gilmour, Gary Moore, Eric Johnson. Those are what I kind of listen to. But so don't ask me to play country. Although I listen to some country, I can't chicken pick and.
I only like, personally, I like Johnny Cash just for his voice, but I don't like country music that much. No. I like the voice of Johnny Cash, though.
Which is interesting, because a lot of people said he doesn't have a good voice, but it worked for him. I like his voice, but some people say they don't like Johnny Cash's voice. But I
respect anybody's taste in music.
That's
each
right.
his own.
Well, that's just it. There's different flavors. Like I like Buckethead.
He's good, huh? He's a good guitar player.
A lot of people don't realize that he is the most prolific artist that is out there, I believe, is what I read. He has made the most albums of anybody.
If you like him, you might like also John 5.
Yeah, I like John. I like some of John 5's stuff. It's interesting. Like there's some people who like Tom Waits. There's some interesting stuff that Tom Waits does, but I'm like, wow, that's not for me. Although I like some of it.
You can't get into his voice. What's the matter with you?
That's it. It's interesting. I mean, he's got some songs. It's like, I'm just like, I'm looking at this Tom Waits video, and I'm like sucked in and pulled in and watching it almost like a train wreck. And not saying it was bad, just was like, wow, that is really weird. He's like, and he's dragging something. I don't know what it was. I forget what it was. You can probably look it up on YouTube. But I was like,
have you ever seen the movie Seven Psychopaths?
No, I don't think.
Check it out.
Okay.
He's in there.
He's an interesting guy. And he goes way back to, I mean, like back to the Stones' early days, earlier than that, I think. So,
but right? sorry to interrupt. I was just gonna say he's one of those artists that's like Zappa.
Yeah.
It's a very small group of people that appreciate his music, but he's had a huge influence on music in general.
Yes, I totally. In fact, that's who I was thinking of next. Is Zappa? I watched some Zappa videos, and I posted something from Zappa. Zappa was talking about the music interesting today, so I posted it, and but I spent some time listening to a few of his songs, and I know he was influential. I wouldn't have known the name Frank Zappa if he wasn't, but I was like, wow. Interesting.
Yeah.
And so like, I think that Jimi Hendrix was a phenomenal player, right? A good player. But what I think he is most known for is being on the cutting edge of technology.
The Beatles,
am I wrong?
The Beatles are on the edge of technology.
Oh yeah, the Beatles.
Recording technology.
Oh yeah, but see, what's interesting about the Beatles, and I love. Don't get me wrong. This is not knocking on Jimi Hendrix in any way, but the Beatles, they had a harmony that they could do with their voice. It was incredible. There's some pretty interesting things that they did, and they were on the cutting edge of technology. I listened like Revolution Number 9.
Yeah, the latest one.
That is just one interesting song to listen to.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just recording techniques, but they were right on the edge. But I don't want anybody to take away that I don't appreciate the musical nature of Jimi Hendrix. But like his live Red House, one of his live Red House, you know, it's really good. I mean, but if you look at somebody like Eric Johnson, or somebody who can really like musically,
Steve Vai,
Steve Vai, somebody who can just like or Joe Bonamassa. I watched Joe Bonamassa do this one run on one of these videos, and he did more notes in like 10 seconds than I've done like all month. And I'm like, what did I just watch? What was that?
Okay, but like from my point of view, I'm a big fan of old school, scratchy Delta blues, Texas blues. But see, I think that's one of the things that you had with Hendrix. Hendrix kind of re-injected like Lightning Hopkins and those kind of things into or back into current popular music, and that got picked up by other artists. So
right, influence is everything. And you know what? Yeah, I've been trying to learn Little Wing for like 4 years now, and I still can't get it. So I'm not knocking his playing. I guess what I'm saying is it's amazing what he did with technology, and
right.
that's kind of the gap that I'm trying to bridge here. Is I think that the Helix is that. I think it's a touchstone in musical history for musicians, guitar players, is the Helix. Now, yes, there's the Axe effects. This isn't a Helix Axe effects thing, but that's hard to use. The Helix is, listen, I drop an amp in, I might put a compression in, I put a speaker in, I throw on my little reverb and maybe a delay, set the pedals. So 30 seconds. I spent, well, almost a lot of times, if I don't have anything specific for when I go to the band practice or a jam, I'll literally make one up that sounds good in the room and go, hey, there it is. You couldn't do that with Axe Effects. I mean, unless you're a genius engineer on the fly.
Yeah, and I think I've heard you make the comparison before.
We have Brad that just joined.
Hey, Brad.
Hey, Brad.
Hello, sir.
Go back. You know, I was really keying in on what you said.
No, I just you made the comparison before. I think that the Helix is, you know, a lot like this. You had a lot of people who used cell phones before, and you had people who used the pocket PCs and things like that before, but then you have a jump where it's just incredibly easy to use.
Right, exactly. And when they do come up with, you know, Helix number 2, and let's just say 5 years from now, you know, because at some point it can grow, right? But when they do come up, it could make another leap. But it kind of goes back to a theory, and it's sort of hard for me to quantize or to quantify what I'm saying here. But what I say is kind of interesting. We've hit a touchstone, and they're going to have a hard time matching what happened with the Helix, the buzz or whatever is going on. But there'll never be another Elvis or Beatles. And what I mean when I say that is they captured 90 to 100% of the absolute populace that was there. So per capita, per amount of people, there is so they've got this much of the pie. as far as popularity. Whereas somebody who comes in today, when there's so much to choose from, the most that any good artist, if they haven't been around for 40 years like the Stones or who else, the most anybody could capture is a small piece of the whole populace because there's so much to choose from. So the same thing goes that Line 6 probably has their flagship that is here right now, and number 2 won't do as well. Because everybody's got. I don't need anything more than what I've got in the Helix. And people talk about does the Eventide H9 it does so much of this. Yes, it may have some algorithms that blow this away.
Hey, I made it.
Joe. Hey, Joe, somebody came in who needs headphones.
Yeah, that was me. It's Joe.
Hey, Joe. Good to have you.
I got on my phone.
Excellent.
Can y'all hear me okay?
Yes, we can hear everybody.
Good,
this is fantastic. It's getting going. It's going good.
Well, the Helix is such a landmark product that I think it will be a long time before they catch up to the technology that this thing has with the display and all the features that it has. It's pretty phenomenal. They really got their act together with it.
I agree. Joe, what do you think?
The Helix, the one thing I love the most is the routing and switching ability. Like before, I had 2 switchers, a full pedal board because I play bass and guitar, and to switch tones, switch amps, switch guitars, and use one wireless, I can use it with only the Helix now. Before I had a massive pedal board. Actually, I had 2 pedal boards basically. It was a pain in the butt. So the switching, the quality of the Helix itself is just, I think, it's up to speed of live, especially. You can't tell the difference, so why not?
Yeah, I agree. Well, the thing about it is it's fix my gas.
Yeah.
Not the other gas, but
Don't go there.
Exactly. I don't need any more gear. I thought about getting the H9 because I love the ethereal, atmospheric music, but I don't need to pay $400 or $500 for an H9 because I can take and add 2 or 3 delays and get really close. I can add 2 or 3 delays and stack echoes and. For instance, here's another tip. Let me take you back to the Helix and give another tip here.
Will they come out with a Helix too? Do you think? Do you think there's going to be a follow-up to this thing?
I don't think they need to. Oh, hold on. I don't think they need to, and here's why I say that.
Oh, we lost Joe.
Oh.
Okay,
right,
so
oh no, Joe's there. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so one thing that is kind of an important thing, and so if you add say a reverb right here. Let's say we add a cave reverb right there. Okay, so now if I go ahead and add a delay, stereo delay, let's do a ping pong, I don't care. Okay, it's going to go in and kind of ram into the verb and get all messy. So what I like about the Helix is you can drag that down, and now you can get your delays sound crystal clear. They're not reverbing, but your main tone still gets that nice clean reverb. It's studio grade After Effects. And now a lot of people will want that authentic. Let's make it look right here. Path 2. So this goes down to the one path. Let's delete this one. And so here's what a lot of people want to do is they'll take and they'll put their speaker and they'll put all their reverb in between, just like a real amp. Okay. So your signal goes into the amp, and then goes down and goes basically like in an effects loop of an amp, and then out the speaker. But what the Helix allows you to do is in a live setting, because what happens is, okay, so you do all that, and you're going, and it's just like in your amp, and you mic it up, and you record it. But then you go into your Logic or your DAW, and then you add your effects. Well, that's like going like this, and putting a cab here, and then let's see. Wait, no, sorry, hold on. Putting a cab back here, and then adding your effects. So the Helix allows you in a live setting to be able to get studio effects after your guitar tone. Plus, it allows you to do something like this and add a send in like a send one, send and return here, and be able to go out of send number one into one amp, and then right and left into two other amps, and get a wet, dry, wet mix. So you get the full effect of the guitar sound with the mix off into the off in the other speakers. But that's why I decided to get the Line 6 Firehawk, because it allows me to do wet, dry, wet, just like this, in one unit. Stereo.
Yeah, I use that. I use the send return block to pull in the effects loop from the Hughes and Kettler, because it's got this nice, really crunchy lead tone. So
the angel, huh? Devil angel. What?
So yeah, that's yeah. I love the ability to be able to just throw that block into a patch and add it to whatever it is I'm messing with.
Me too. Yeah, I like that too. This is just delving into a whole new area, right? That's enough.
Is that a Helix effects there?
It's a new video module.
Crazy stuff.
But so, you know, so is there anything else anybody wants to talk about?
I'm about to leave anyway, man, so I'm going to say good night to all.
Very nice having you here, Sebastian.
It's all 9 p.m. now. I'm going to hang out with my wife a little bit before going to sleep.
No worries. Glad you could be here.
All right. Have a nice evening, guys.
You too.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay. And are you staying, Joe?
Yeah, I got to get going too.
Okay.
So, this is good. Next week, same time. I don't know if I'll be here, but 6 o'clock, right? Wednesday.
Yeah, we're gonna try and do this once a week, so we get more people. They're gonna be able to. The ones who weren't on will be able to. I'm gonna post this in the Facebook group, and they can catch up with us later, and maybe that'll encourage them to join. Because there was a lot of really good tips that were gone over here, and you know, I see the Line 6. Anyway, it was a nice shirt. I'm glad I got the shirt, but at any rate, so anybody else who wants to say anything before we end?
No. Hopefully next time I'll have something more to contribute. Maybe a tip or two.
Okay, so
I haven't actually got the Helix yet, but I'm having fun trying to help people that are dealing with sound issues and setup, because I've been using effects for a lot of years. In fact, I have it my GTA behind me. You can't see it probably, but seemed like there's a lot of questions, people having trouble with getting their sound balanced and getting a good sound live versus what they hear at home.
Right.
I see a lot of posts like that, and I think a lot of new people don't understand what they're doing with it. I mean, these are sophisticated devices, but you're not going to get the sound at home that you're going to get live.
And it's really important that that people give it an opportunity to learn it. It's simple to use, yet it's also still very versatile and sophisticated. It's sophisticated in its routing. It's sophisticated on its screen layout. It's sophisticated technology with the assigning of pedals. I mean, those are groundbreaking. You touch a pedal, you hit OK. You wanna assign something. You hit learn and move your pedal, and boom, now that works there.
Yep.
There's nothing else out there like that.
Like you say, it's so versatile that people. It's easy to use, but yet you can shoot yourself in the foot real quick too.
Yeah, it's hard to shoot. It's hard though in this one to shoot yourself because it's not
what
good.
might help people a lot is how to order the different effects and patches in the order that they should go into a loop or in a chain, so that like.
Hey, Buddha Buddy, nice to come on in. Say hello to everybody, Buddha Buddy.
Yeah, I agree, Brad. I see a lot of people who online are trying to put things together just like they would a pedal board.
Yeah, and with the ability to split things out and get more of a recording studio, or you have to think about the signal paths that are going through the amplifier too. There's a lot of different paths that the signals can take, and how they come together affects how they sound on the back end.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. And what I like about the Helix is, in some respects, there actually is no right or wrong. So typically, I would put a compressor first, but you don't have to. You can put a compressor anywhere in the chain, but my mind would tell me I put the wah first, I put the compressor next, and then I put the drive. And yes, I probably end up defaulting to a lot of that the same way. But hang on a second, I gotta put this back up. Question answer. Let's see. Texting. Okay, there we go. But you can sort of, if you don't like the way it sounds, or do you like the way it sounds? It's kind of what does your ear tell you? Don't forget that that's your tool. And it's kind of like one other thing. I guess now that you got me on the tangent of talking more, the tuner. Everybody still here?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, so all that little sound went away. The tuner, as far as I'm concerned, is accurate. I tested it up against. I did a tone generator. A tone coming out, and I put my. I had a Polytune Mini, and I did a video on it, and I played the string that was in tune, and I watched both tuners. They go bink, and then I played the tone, and it went bink, and to me that's in tone. I think what people are complaining about is what we would call maybe granularity. Do we have more choices? But there's a drawback to having as many choices, because then you have your fluctuations, and you're going to see it's not going to be as stable. Because of the waves of the string.
Right.
And there's a kind of a happy medium. Yes, I would love to see more divisions. But this back to the ear. You have to use your ear.
Mm-hmm.
You're tuning, and you need to be also actively. Oh yeah. Oh, that's right. And you play the chord. Okay, we're in tune.
Well, you also, I think it's also, again, right back to user error. A lot of people don't realize that that bar is going to turn green before those two brackets light up, and, and your string's not in tune until those two brackets light up. I know. Right. Yeah. So if you see the bar turn green and you think, "Oh, I'm in tune," you're not in tune.
But then there's also one other factor that is this is actually pretty vital. The setup.
Yeah.
You listen. You could have it in tune, but if your nut is not cut to where you press on to make a chord and it presses too sharp,
it'll pull the string sharp. That's
setup.
normal. That's normal behavior on a guitar.
Same thing goes with the intonation. If you don't have it intonated right, you're going to have all sorts of tuning issues, and it's not the Helix. It's not the Helix. So yes, I agree. I wouldn't mind having more
granularity
to it, but
the display you're talking about,
yes,
actually, right?
in the display.
Okay.
The tuner, but so instead of having 5 bars on each side, maybe 10 bars on each side. So it goes pop 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 pop. But to me, it's frankly not that big of an issue. It isn't. I don't have any issues with my guitar setup.
People are used to the needle tuners, like on a Boss tuner, and the little LEDs. I have one, and it is nice, but in a LED style tuner like I have in the GT8 and like is in the Helix, the display is different. The cycle rate of it's more averaged in the bar, in the LED style tuners, the fluctuation, where in the needle it moves fairly quick. There's still an average that it does, because it couldn't be changing, but it's that average that I think people are seeing in the typical needle style tuners. It changes much quicker. It reacts faster.
Well,
the LED tuners react a little slower, and that's normal, but you have to get used to that fact.
Well, and then there's also this. If you're not using the right pickup on your guitar, I always use the bridge pickup to tune with. What about you guys?
Either one.
Yeah, it's whatever it's set to when I pick up the guitar.
Well, but what I find is the amount of fluctuations. It's a different cycle. The tone's different at the bridge than it is.
Different position along the length of the strings, so the
exactly. So
oscillations are different. But.
So I find it's back to a Chad thing. I find that that if I'm using the bridge pickup, that it does a little less of this. And I'm not talking specifically on the Helix tuner. I'm talking about all the tuners I've ever used. They have less of that fluctuation as they're going. So.
Well, but I mean, okay, so I just tuned this guitar using this polyphonic, this polytune.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. But I don't have the pickups active. Sound's turned down because it works based on the vibration of the headstock. So,
exactly. Yes.
Right.
But I mean, it shouldn't matter what pickup you're using, because if that were the case, then if you were in tune for your bridge pickup and it made a difference, then when you switched to your
neck pickup,
then you'd be out of tune.
No. I'm not saying it changes the tone and tune of the guitar. I'm saying it changes the vibration of it as it's coming in.
The response of the tuner.
The response of the tuner.
Okay.
Yeah, no. In tune is in tune. Let's be clear about that. I'm just saying that I find it easier to get to that center point of the tuner and being in and get there and have it not fluctuate.
I've never noticed. I got to try that now.
Well, okay. How about this? Let's move the camera.
Yeah.
Let me try this.
Getting seasick. Oh no.
Let's try this. Let me see if I can get the focus here. Hold on. Let's present to everyone. Okay, so everybody can see. I'm going to go into my tuner. So, I guess what I'm saying is, so let's try the neck. Neck and volume up. That's another thing. Okay, so I got it in tune right there, right? But now, it may not be as fluctuating here, but if I go down here, if I go into the neck, it's just, if it's just me, I get less fluctuations. But again, I don't have any problem at all with the Helix tuner either way. But on other tuners that have more granularity, I do get that fluctuation point. But also, if you have any string buzz, like frets that are buzzing at all, you're gonna get it's gonna throw that off too. So
yeah. And people need to realize you need to be, if you're about to play live, you better have good strings, new strings or relatively new, because old strings, you tune them and then you put your fingers on them and it's going to be out of tune. They won't be right. I use elixirs and they last me far, far longer than any other string I have ever put on my guitars. And when they do start dying, it's very, very, very slow. It takes a lot to be able to tell they're actually dying.
I've been using, okay, what I use on my strings, and yes, they do die out. But what I've been using on my strings is Ernie Ball. I actually I like the way they sound. They're inexpensive and they sound really good for quite a while for me. But I do have to change them like every 3 months.
3 months?
Yeah.
Wow, you must not play much, because, boy, when I play at church, I play enough that I would have to change my strings every 2 weeks.
Oh, see,
I'll wear them out like hotcakes.
I play a lot at home, but I don't play a whole lot out. So as far as string changing, I don't need to impress. As long as they stay fairly in tune, like these ones right now, I've noticed them start to go a little bit out of tune, and that's when I'll change them. And they don't sound dead, but I've had them where they get kind of dead sounding.
Yeah,
so
mine just won't hold their tuning when the ones I were using, when they would get bad, if you tuned them open and then you hit a G chord, they might sound okay, but when you came up to like a A or a B or a C bar chord up the neck, they would be totally out. Or even like an open D or up to a barred A at the 5th fret. They wouldn't sound right. So that's kind of how, at the point, I would change them, because I play all over the neck. I play from up high down to the bottom end, just the whole range of the neck. So they have to be in tune everywhere.
Yeah. Well, living in Florida, I pretty much have to use elixirs.
Yeah.
The
salt
relative humidity is high enough, and there's always just a touch of, well, especially in my house with the saltwater tanks, there's always salt in the air. I cycled through my guitars enough that the strings tend to last a little bit longer.
Yeah.
But yeah, every month.
Yeah, mine. I've been finding them last about 6 weeks, 6-7 weeks, pretty well. Now, if I'm like now, I'm playing at home more, because we're not having practice at church, so my equipment's here. I'll play an hour or two a day at least, and so they're, I'm wearing them quite a bit.
Well,
But
yeah, I really last time I was in Florida. Whereabouts in Florida are you, Ian?
South Florida. I'm between Fort Lauderdale and Miami.
Two years ago, I had to go there for a client, and I got off the plane in Georgia. Georgia? Yeah. Oh, I didn't do well at all. It was hot. It was
welcome
August.
to the South.
I was like, what is this foreign land? I'm from Portland, Oregon area, and I'm like, what have I just? I changed clothes 3 times on the way on the way to Florida, and I'm like, this is nuts. And so,
Yeah.
so okay, I get into the Tampa airport, and I'm like, okay, it's hot. It was midnight, right? And I walked out the door to cross the road to the rental car place, and I was like, what? Did I just walk into the ocean? I was hit by this like 90-degree weather at midnight, and it was like somebody just threw a bucket of water on me as I'm walking. I came back to Oregon, and I had walking pneumonia.
Oh, no.
I'm like, you put a guy in an ocean for a week.
Yeah.
It's humid down here.
We regularly have 90-degree temperatures with 90% humidity. So.
Oh, easy. Yeah, I live in Fort Worth.
Oh,
Dallas,
okay.
Fort Worth, and so, yeah, and I grew up along the Texas Gulf Coast, about 25 miles from the Gulf, so I know about the humidity and heat. You kind of get used to it, but what's weird here in Fort Worth is it's been getting over 100 in the summer for weeks at a time, and that's pretty extreme.
Yeah. Just keep repeating. There's no such thing as climate change.
Right.
well,
right.
Here in Oregon right now, tomorrow's supposed to be 80.
Yeah.
Now I remember the phrase. It was April showers bring May flowers, and look. Yeah, there you go. Sunny.
Yeah.
Can't even clear it up. It's supposed to be 80 degrees tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I understand.
my daughter's going to school in Colorado. The temperature went from 41 to 71.
That's crazy.
In a few hours. They had snow and then it was gone.
That's what it went from about 40 degrees here the other day to 75, and I think tomorrow's it's probably going to be in the 40s tonight, and it's supposed to be 80 tomorrow. So I understand. It's weird.
Yeah. The weather strings here today were 51 to 80 basically.
Wow.
Tomorrow will be 54 to 88.
Now that seems in my recollection. I'm 48 years old. I've lived in this area since I was a kid. I mean, my whole life. I'm born in Portland, and I live in Washougal, which is right across from Troutdale, which is Troutdale is like 20 miles east of Portland, Oregon. Okay, the downtown. And I live right across the river, and I've lived from 1982 until 2000. Lived in Troutdale, and in all this time, I don't think I've seen an April like this. I mean, I could be wrong. Somebody could prove me wrong, but my recollection is the weather patterns in the last 10 years have definitely changed. So
yeah. Yes.
Well, one thing along the Helix line, if in
Yeah.
guitars in general, not to change our
No.
conversation
This
about
is
the
a
weather.
Helix talk, but
Enjoy it.
it's kind of
Um,
like anything. So.
I'm attempting to sell a couple of custom-made guitars that I had made years ago to raise money to buy the Helix. And, you know, the pedal board and all that stuff. So if anyone runs across somebody who's interested in fine quality custom made guitars, I've got two. They're both Stratocaster style, and I can send pictures if anybody's interested. But they're heavy because they're walnut and burnside maple, but they have an excellent sustain.
So here's what
Long
you
sustain.
can do. I guess because I'm the forum owner, I can say this is okay. Go ahead and say on our forum, in order to fund the Helix, I need to sell these, and put the pictures on there. That's fine.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's no
I'd
problem.
like to get 1,500 a piece for them. They're worth that, believe me. They've got EMG pickups, Schroller tuners, the whole. I didn't cut corners anywhere on these instruments with anything. They're completely made from scratch, handmade, custom built.
Yeah. You're welcome. You're welcome to
So just post a
take some
note.
good pictures and post them. Just add the phrase "Chad said it's okay," and put the other phrase in that in order to fund the Helix, I need to sell these. And I
don't want to turn the forum into a buy sell trade thing.
No, but it's there to help people, and I'm fine with that.
Okay, I just
It's
bring
fine.
that up in reference to trying to get the Helix into my possession because I know I'll have a ball with it. In fact,
I had to
would like to be able to
almost-
create some patches and sounds for people. Has anybody heard anyone doing any Lanny patches in reference similar to Jack Thummerot? I love his tone and sound he has. He and Eric Johnson are got excellent tones.
Yeah, here's what I say is I believe with the combination of amps that we have and effects and using creative EQing whatever, I think you could probably get just about any tone that you wanted to currently. Although it would be easier if they added the Dumble and some Laney's models, because those matchless models are
awesome.
They're just incredible. So, but which just really shows the power of the Helix at its best anyway. So,
that thing's phenomenal.
Yeah,
I'm a computer programmer, so I wish I had the instruction set on how to control the Helix, because I would write my own custom software to do it. I do that. I love doing that. I enjoy doing it, but I don't have the instruction set for the Helix. So if I could get my hands on that.
Remember the days when we used to be able to reverse engineer stuff like that?
Oh yeah. That's a possibility, but it would be an awful lot of work to get all the instructions, because you could set up a monitor on the USB port and watch the data stream looking for the commands. But can you imagine?
That's a lot of
it would be. Yeah, it'd be easier to have a list of them.
Yeah, I'd like to see them open the Helix up a little bit more. Like one of the suggestions I had was, like you mentioned earlier, Chad, how the cabs we have now are basically just collections of IRs.
Right.
I would love to be able to see. Ownhammer be able to take all their IRs and package them into a single cab and be able to upload just a single cab. Like, here's a Marshall with all the IRs in it, and you can adjust it just like you can with the Line 6 cabs.
Right.
So,
what is an IR? What does that stand for? I know that sounds like an absolutely noob question.
It's an impulse response, and essentially it's just an MP3 recording of a triggered sound, like a clap, in a space or through a playback device like a cabinet. So that's all it is.
Okay.
And it's used to shape the sound.
It's yeah. I mean, I kind of think about it like it's its own EQ. It grabs all this information and bundles it in this tight little sound package, and then when you use it to amplify, you get the characteristics thereof, the tones of it. So I mean,
do they use a particular event to create the IR? I mean, like a standard, like you said, a hand clap, but is there some tone they generate that creates the characteristics of the sound of the cabinet when they sample it? A standard for that?
I think I don't know the exact process. I mean, one might actually say voodoo.
I'm technical that way. What can I say?
Yeah,
believe it or not, you can actually you can play an IR if you just load it up in a like a DAW or something. You can actually drop it on the timeline and play it.
But I don't hear anything usually.
It depends. Some of them you actually hear like a clap or a snapping sound or something like that.
Oh, okay, okay.
It's super fast. I mean, it's literally like that.
Just very quick.
So, yeah. And that contains all the information that they need.
Wow.
Yeah, so I got in a discussion on the forum about, IRs, and it ended up being sort of a semantical discussion. And I basically said, look, it's digital. It's a digital, and it was like, no, it's sound. I said, no, when you put it into the computer and you send it out, it's now digital. It's a digital sound, and it's digital. It's just like, and basically I was trying to make the point that the Helix cabs, you're using semantics. Cab IR. Yes, IR means impulse response, but the cabs are an impulse response. But they're the same, but they're different because there's a program that's in there that move this, you get an IR, you get a different IR. Move this, you get a different IR.
Right. One is just a bundle.
Well, it's a sample of the sound that came out of the original sampling of the cab, and it's a time stamp. It cuts that thing up into thousands, and there's 60,000 pulses of samples of sound, and it digitizes it.
Right, and then they move it. They move and record the next one. They move and record the next one, and then what the Line 6 has done is go, well, here's those, 100 tones, boom. And now we're in a package, and you just move this around and get a different tone.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so that's why I was surprised when I downloaded the Red Wires big box pack. I was like, what is? It took like 8 hours. I was like, what in the world did I do? And then I started looking through and going, okay, we got Marshall 4x12 1-inch. On cone. We got Marshall 4x12 1-inch with an SM57 on offset, and you just go going through each one. Then we have 2 inches, and then we have 3 inches, and then we have the Royer 121 and the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm like, holy moly! So if you're going to use IRs, what I would do is I would say, okay, I want to isolate and download different cabs, and I want to use 1 inch or 2 inches, whatever is most pleasing to you, and maybe 2 kinds of amps, and so you download per cab 2 or 3, because you can fill up, and so then you can have a selection of different kinds of cabs. But I might even just get it down to where I like it at 2 inches, and I like it with the Royer 121, and then I'm gonna get 2 inches Royer 121. I'm gonna get this 4x12, this 4x12, this 4x12, and get a whole bunch of those and stick to one type of recording. Because otherwise you just go crazy. Your ear would get fatigued.
Gentlemen, I'm afraid I'm going to have to take my leave. My wife is texting me to come into the other room.
I understand. And Brad, what
priorities?
what part of the country are you in right now, Brad?
I'm in Fort Worth, Texas. Actually,
Okay.
Keller, just north of Fort Worth.
So it's not as late for you, but I
No,
think
it's
I need to pay.
8:37.
I probably need to pay attention to my wife as well.
Okay.
So it's been I think a successful broadcast, and I'm going to get this posted on once it's done processing. After we end it, I'm going to get it posted on to the Facebook groups. And if you go,
you'll be pleased how quickly it's done.
I know, yeah, because I think it's encoding as it's going.
Yeah, it's only a couple minutes behind.
Right, and so thank you guys so much. You made it a great group, and we'll do another one next week. And we have folks who would come in who are on the European across the pond scenario. So maybe if you PM me and let me know another time when you guys would like to join, where we could maybe do it like in the AM, so that the UK European fans of Line 6 would come in and join.
Yeah.
Because there was quite a few people that would have joined, but they're like, we're in bed. It's 12. It's 1 in the morning. So.
Oh yeah.
Now it wouldn't stop me.
Where's the dedication?
Hey, Buddha Buddy's coming in. So.
Oh wow, cool.
Okay. Now he's back out.
Not that we need the space, but gentlemen, I'm going to say goodnight, and I will talk to you again soon.
All right, thank you. It's good to see you.
Thank you, Ian, and thanks, Brad.
You're Ian Keggy, are you?
So,
no, thank you. I appreciate all you do with this group. You're like the glue that holds it together, and you're really active on it. I don't know how you have time to do it if you're working full time.
Well, okay. So a little bit about me is I spend on top of taking care of my family. I spend 70 hours a month in my ministry.
Oh wow! So what ministry is this?
I'm one of Jehovah's Witnesses.
Oh, okay.
And we go out door to door, and
right.
And you know, I know some people get irritated about it, but it's out of love. I try and help ones to learn the Bible.
Yeah.
But it's you know, that takes a big part of my life, and then going to my meetings that we go to. I go to two meetings a week at the Kingdom Hall, and then you know how much I'm active here.
Yeah, I'm amazed you are that active with your time schedule.
And then I have my business that I take care of, but you know, I would love an opportunity to you know, work for these fine folks, but if that never happens, it would make me sad, and I would cry.
Yeah, right. Well, I'm currently unemployed, an unemployed computer programmer down here, and I've been doing computers for 30 years.
I've been repairing computers for 25 years, and I've been doing websites for 15, 20 years.
I was an IT technician for Motorola, and have done, over the course of 30 years, have done programming just about everywhere I've ever worked. But it may not have been my primary job function, but because I know how to do it, it ended up being part of my job role. And but since it's not listed on my resume as my job title, the last company I worked for, they went out of business. They basically went bankrupt. And the way it happened, I was able to go back to college for 2 years and get a 2-year degree in computer programming. And since I've gotten that, I haven't been able to find work as a programmer. I've had 3 back surgeries, so I'm handicapped in that way.
I've had two back surgeries.
My complete total sympathy. I understand completely. I've got a spinal cord stimulator in and an implant to help manage my pain.
I had an L4, L5 laminectomy and an L5S1 laminectomy.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
The laminectomies I've had, I had a fusion of L4, L5, and then I had because of that surgery, I was in a tremendous amount of pain. And so, not because of the surgery, I was in a lot of pain before I had the surgery because that's why I had the surgery, but I had
Right.
degenerative disc disease. So, they went in and fused them, but I was having a lot of pain. So my last surgery was to take the rods and screws out and implant a spinal cord stimulator to help manage the pain in my legs and feet. And I'm telling you, that was a God sent blessing. That thing is, because I was living on drugs before then, not hard drugs, but codeine to manage pain, and massive amounts of Advil. And
and that's
that
bad for your
thing,
liver.
I can just turn that thing. If I get to hurting real bad, if my right hip or stuff starts hurting, I can just turn that thing on and turn it up, and boy, it's instant. You don't have to wait, nothing. You just turn it up and bam. So, but I do have that. So I'm kind of limited in my mobility. I sit when I play at church and stuff. I can't stand anymore and hold these things. That's one of the reasons I want to sell these two guitars. They are heavy, but they're awesome instruments. Awesome instruments. But
I understand.
A younger person would really get a lot of benefit out of them. But I need the money to buy the Helix with. I'm unemployed, and so.
Yeah, and I totally get it. Well,
yeah,
Brad, it's been a really nice evening.
Okay.
And
I've enjoyed it. Are you going to try and do these each Wednesday, or
I'm
what?
I think I'm going to try and do it every Wednesday.
Okay.
And hopefully hopefully people will be able to get on, and this doesn't have to totally revolve around Helix. We talked about music, we talked about industry, we did all sorts of things in this tonight.
Oh yeah.
And I think it was a nice. I think it was nice. It was nice to get to know people and spend a little time with them, like Sebastian and Ian and you, and we did our last thing. I do like this Hangout's better than Blab.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, this is a little more refined, and it was easier to stay on, and it's directly linked to the my YouTube channel anyway. So,
and what time Central Time will this event?
Well,
I'm just put it in my phone in my calendar. That's why.
Yeah, in Pacific time, and I hate trying to translate for other people. Pacific time, it's going to be 4 o'clock.
So Pacific, you're on the California
West
Coast?
time.
Okay,
Yeah.
So that's you're behind us by
2
hours.
So mine would be 4 o'clock. Yours might be 6.
6 o'clock maybe.
Yeah. What time is it right now? Where are you at?
It is 8:45.
And mine is so 2 hours different. Mine's 6:45. So this actually broadcast almost went for 3 hours.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So 6 to 8 p.m.
6 to 9. Yeah.
Okay.
Your time.
And I'm just going to put this so it puts this every week for me, weekly, so I don't forget.
Sounds good. And go in and share it and tell people about it. Share the link, and we'll get more people on here. And I really think that Line 6 has done a tremendous job at being active in the forums. Now, I don't know if you saw the analytics that I put up for the group. I was actually quite shocked at how much I was for the last 9 months. Yeah, this group is 9 months old.
Yeah, I saw that.
Although I've only had the Helix for 6 months, so I started it 3 months in advance because I knew how kind of big it was going to be. And man, it's a great group, and we're getting more and more people in the group. It's growing. So It's good. It's a good
I
group.
think it's going to grow, continues to grow, especially as the Helix ends up more prevalent in the stores.
Right.
And they get them in regularly, because right now the stores get them in and they're gone.
I know they're still flying off like hotcakes.
Yeah, they're still filling orders online and stuff.
Right.
I fully expect when I can sell these guitars and have the money to have to wait at least a couple of months to get one, even yet.
It may be right, because it's pretty hard to come by, and I've like I said, I've had mine. I was one of the first.
Wow.
I've had mine 6 months as of April 1st. I've had mine 6 months.
Do you know if there's been any revisions to them in that period of time, or has it just been software changes, firmware changes?
There's been no hardware changes whatsoever. It's the same unit. The unit I have is the same unit as everybody else is getting. The same one that's being produced. It's all software and firmware changes, and you know that they can add functions and features. It's just a full-fledged computer underneath there.
Yeah.
I mean, so they can do whatever they want, as long as it's within the confines of the active hardware that's attached to the board.
Right.
So right.
As long as the hardware is capable of doing it, but they planned it out well in that it would be software based.
Yeah, and on a different note, on a hardware software PC basis, and you'll understand what I'm saying when I say it, because you're techie. Years and years ago, the software would chase the hardware up. So you get software and it builds the software gets bigger, and you do this little back and forth thing.
Yeah.
And then pretty soon, but now software is still down here, but hardware is off the chart.
Yeah, because the hardware's gotten cheaper and they can add more to it.
And it's so advanced that usually, in most cases, the software can't push it. So you keep buying these new. Most of my hardware, other than my Mac, is 5 years old, and it still works fantastic because the software still isn't pushing it to its max. And I believe that's the way the Helix is that the hardware is so advanced that it doesn't matter. The software is going to come in, and it's not going to push it to the level that they're going to need new hardware. That's just my opinion.
Some time.
For some time, and we're talking sometime meaning 5, 6, 7 years, which I think. Well, they need to make money in advance. That's they have a financial responsibility to do that. But
with my equipment, I've been playing 48 years, so I keep my equipment a very long time. I mean, I'm playing the guitar, my main guitar I play. I've had it for 20 years. I haven't bought a new guitar since. I don't need to. I buy quality instruments and I play them a very long time, because I don't pick up 4 or 5 different instruments, because you get used to the feel of one guitar and you can play it with your eyes closed. You can play it in your sleep. You don't have to even guess what you're going to do, because your hands know it so well that you don't even think about it.
Exactly, and that's the way this one is for me. This was custom built by a friend of mine.
Wow,
and I showed it. I showed it earlier. I mean, the finish is checking a bit, but this has got a baseball bat 59 neck. You can, I mean, look at the angle. Look at the big thick neck on that right there. I mean, that's huge, and it was made by a friend of mine named Brock.
Oh wow!
But look at the checking on that.
Oh yeah, the finish. Yeah.
Yeah, it's phenomenal. This guitar is chambered on the inside. It's a modeled after 59, but it's chambered and it still weighs 11 pounds.
Wow.
It's a very dense piece of wood.
Yes, but I'll bet it has beautiful sound.
It does, and I've actually got really hot pickups in it. I've got, but they sound really creamy and everything, and it works perfect in the Helix. They're the Slash Alnico to APH to Seymour Duncans.
I was going to say they're probably Seymour Duncans.
And they're hot, but you crank that volume down, and I've got the actual electronics inside of it are RS Guitar Works, their vintage wiring kit. So everything's vintage 59 specs. It's got this neck on it that won't quit. I mean, it's just a quality piece of interest. I wouldn't trade it for
Anything.
for the right Gibson. I might the right one, but it'd have to be like a $4,000 or $5,000 Gibson.
Oh, it'd probably be. I saw one listed on Sweetwater yesterday that was $12,000. It was a '59 Gibson Les Paul original.
Yeah,
it was beautiful.
Ooh, that'd be nice. I'd trade for that, but nobody trade me. but no, it's a very pleasure to have you on, and I really like supporting the group. And
you're awesome at it.
And I don't know.
Need help? Let me know.
Well, step in.
I have lots of time.
Step in and help anytime you see it. That's what it's there for. I sometimes actually, there's some questions that I on purposely don't answer in the forum, and there's a reason, because there's some things that and it's what I teach my clients, some of my clients.
Mm-hmm.
So if I build a client something and I go in and I fix what they got going, I'll give them a good head start, but then I tell them, now you work at it and I'll come back in a few days. Then they what happens is they work through, they learn it, and they're going to do much better if they learn it than if I just show them boom, boom, boom. So sometimes I will answer, and well, in most cases I'll answer, but there's sometimes where, especially if it's been answered several times in the group, there is a search function, and this is something that people can learn. Put your problem in the search before you ask certain questions. It's okay to ask it again if you want. If you just got to ask it, that's great. But if you search it, you may find it already there.
Yeah, because a lot of this has been hashed before.
Yeah, and it's okay to hash it again, and I don't mind.
Especially with the new software, the control software.
Right. There's
a lot of us with that, how to find it.
Yeah, and it's there, but it's okay to ask again. I'm not. There's no complaints. It's just sometimes it's kind of like question asked, question already answered. I won't say that to anybody. I'm just saying a lot of times it's already there. But there are some questions that, like when it gets into like the realm of four cable, I don't have any amps here to show because I've got my sound. I've got the Firehawk 1500, and I've got my pedal.
Mm-hmm.
I don't need to do 4 cable method, but I have shown how to do wet, dry, wet with the two. And I'm more than happy to answer those because I've got that figured out. But I've not done a lot of 4 cable method. I haven't needed to.
Yeah.
Well, frankly, if I go to an amp, like a regular amp, I kind of go straight in and turn the amp clean. So
yeah, and do all your effects with your processor. Because
right.
I mean, what I've been doing lately is I'm trying to set up one of these computers behind me, and I'm being fairly successful with it as a DAW station, and I'm starting to do some recording with it. That's one reason I'm really looking forward to getting that Helix. I want to get some real authentic sounds and get some good tone. The tone I'm looking for is similar to some of Eric Johnson's and Jack Thammarat.
They're
just phenomenal sounds. But
Glenn has some patches that are pretty amazing, and I've got some patches that will come close to that too, that I'm going to share with people. So I got more to share.
Well, cool. I'd like to be able to create some things and be able to share some things with people. And just 48 years of music experience I'd like to be able to help some people with some things. I've played professionally for many, many years, and now I don't anymore. I play exclusively in church, but that's a live performance every week, several times a week. So, it's still there. I'm not going through an amplifier. We go straight to the soundboard, which is good but not good.
Right.
You don't get the benefit of the tonality of an amplifier, which is one thing the Helix will give me because of the cab simulations and stuff. So
Right.
but
Well,
I'm really looking forward to that.
It's the tones are authentic, and it's all here. You'll have a good time when you get it. But
Yeah.
very nice talk with you, Brad.
It's good to meet you. I hope you have a good night.
Yeah, yeah. You have a great night, and look for it on the Facebook group, and make your comments about how you enjoyed it, and
Okay.
reach out to the Line 6 folks and let them know how valuable I am.
Yeah. If they had an office down here, I'd be applying for them.
Yeah.
It would be that would be awesome.
I know. So
it would be an awesome job. I would love that job.
Yeah.
That would be fun. Because I'm also a ham radio operator, so I deal with electronics and soldering and do stuff like that. So it would be fun. Well, anyway, sir, you have a very nice night and enjoyed it very much.
You too, and always feel free to reach out to me.
Well, thank you very much. You've been a great help.
Have a good night.
Good night.
Bye-bye.